The demon that possessed this girl may have been exorcised, but it never left this place. YouTube channel Chamos investigates this abandoned house in which a girl underwent her exorcism. This is what happened. First, the presentation.
Barulho?
Tem alguma coisa aí, velho?
Cara, tem alguém aí, velho. Tem alguém aí.
Opa! Você passa.
Que isso? Ai, meu Deus! Olha isso, velho! Olha isso, cara! O boneco, velho!
Why is the demon presenting this terrifying toy doll? It also moves its chair.
Meu Deus, senhor! Mexeu ali, velho! A cadeira?
A moment later, the baby crib is gone.
Ah! Cara do céu!
Vai cuidado, velho.
Things keep moving.
Cara, e essa menina de novo? Essa menina de novo, cara. Olha isso. Meu Deus.
Notice the sound, you'll soon see what it is.
Olha só, cara. Olha só o poder desse demônio, velho. Oh, meu Deus do céu, velho. Tá maluco, velho. Sai daí, velho. Sai daí, cara. Olha aí, velho. Tá maluco, cara?
Later, as they're getting a reading on their K2, something even creepier unfolds.
Que rola? Ah, cara. Que isso? Ah, me fuga ali, cara. Olha isso, cara. Meu Deus do céu, velho. Olha isso. Que isso, velho? Vocês estão vendo isso? Vocês estão vendo isso, cara? Ah, meu Deus do céu, velho. Meu Deus, cara. Cara do céu, velho.
Was that doll floating, descending, or is it ascending to new heights? No matter what the answer is, I'd be getting the heck out of this place ASAP. This bizarre video was taken while exploring the woods of Amherst, Massachusetts, in a place that's known for witch sightings and strange ritualistic activity. Someone, perhaps a group, has carefully arranged branches into a makeshift hut. The leaves have mostly fallen off, but it's easy to see how this could have been some kind of shelter during the warmer months. Inside are hanging ornaments of twisted twigs bound together into strange symbols. These stones are all about the same size and have been laid at the base as part of a possible ritual. While further inspecting the hovel, they catch a strange figure running away from the hut into the woods at full speed, but they dare not pursue lest they want a hex placed on their head. The power goes out and a man must go into the basement to find the circuit breaker. There's only one problem.
This is where I heard the boning at night.
Once he gets downstairs, his beam is swallowed in the darkness, and while fumbling around he barely catches a glimpse of a pale face down there with him, and by the time he gets the flashlight to work again, it's already too late. Whatever this is a face of, ghost or otherwise, I doubt it's a mask because at 50 seconds you can see its mouth open and its smile fade away as it lunges forward. It doesn't grab him and he is able to get away, so if this is real, then it could be one of the highest resolution ghost sightings ever caught on camera to date. Okay, this video is bizarre and just plain really weird. A kid on YouTube named Nature the Bee is making a random video about his cat. Little did he know that he caught a mysterious figure on camera.
And that's the end of the first trailer. I hope you've enjoyed.
Creeping around the house is a strange, ghostly apparition. It was not part of the skit he was doing at all and really has no place being there. Plus the way it looks from behind the corner is beyond creepy. You can see some more scary stuff when you zoom in, like a freaky frowning face that the uploader thinks could be a ghost or a demon sighting caught on video. I think this video could be edited, but if not, then I'd say his house is definitely haunted by something paranormal. Smallmouth Crush is making a fishing video on the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. He's drifting by when further down the riverbank something strange catches his eye. A head is sticking out of the water, long black hair, her back is to him. He looks at the head for a long time, unable to mentally process what he's seeing and not sure what to do. He gives the object a poke just to make sure it is what he fears. It has a face, and it is exactly what he's afraid of. I think we are all thinking it's the same thing, especially from this distance, but when he pokes at it some more, an artificial neck joint pops free from the mud. This is a mannequin head, not a real one.
Dude, what is happening? Look at this thing. This is nasty.
Not finding a body is a relief, I suppose, but it also begs the question as to why anyone would take a blindfolded mannequin head out into the woods in the first place. I've heard of people simulating their demented desires onto mannequins before moving on to the real thing as part of their transformation into a full-blown psycho. There's a lot of creepy people out there, I guess, and to further prove my point, he looks up to find something even more sickening nearby.
Look at that freaky thing. I'm out of here.
It looks like somebody has been using this spot to do some pretty twisted fantasizing, and as he speeds away, I can't help but wonder what if that's not a doll? While visiting a friend at a high school, these girls spotted strange flickering light inside, writing that it was flashing in a pattern. Posted by Babe It's Manda to the Ghosts subreddit. The redditor notes that this is the boys and the girls' locker rooms. Only the boys was acting up earlier, and now they're both flickering. Some suggest it's a rave, others think it may just be faulty wiring, or the fire alarm being tested, but MTN Do 891 finds something else particularly unsettling. He writes, "Why do the locker rooms have windows so large and close to the ground? That's what I find creepy." That's a good point, so maybe their story is not what's actually going on here. Nevertheless, this either had to be a major electrical malfunction, or else the work of something paranormal. I just wish there was more video evidence so we could decide for sure. This one is especially haunting. Published to YouTube by TVR Exploring in December of 2019. The uploader explains that Ingolchek was a mining town that was abandoned twice, once by the dissolved Soviet Union, and then again by a foreign company that tried its hand to little success. But it wasn't the environment that surprised TVR Exploring, it was the encounter he had underground that he can't get out of his head. After TVR films the remote mountainside and the surrounding buildings, he heads into the mine, where he's looking at some rusted old gear left on a workbench. You start to hear howling from deep within the tunnel. There's water dripping, which drowns out the sound somewhat, but you can hear distinctly the otherworldly scream as TVR describes it. Although he's a self-proclaimed skeptic and doesn't necessarily consider the sound to be supernatural, TVR says all the hairs stood up on the back of his neck. After reflecting, he still doesn't know its source, and he asks his audience for their thoughts. Some say it's obviously a ghost or demon, others the wind, and still others consider it may be hydraulic. Although there's no definitive answer, everyone seems to agree that this man is extremely brave. On January 8th, 2005, a professional diver named David Shaw was on an extraction mission to recover a missing individual named Dion Dreyer. David, having won numerous diving records in his career, many of them going great depths into caves, was confident in his abilities to locate this person. He was also with a team to help ensure his further safety. They run a line down the cave to help themselves move along and keep from straying too far and getting lost. There's very little light down here. The line leads to Dion. At 3 minutes they pass over this deflated dolphin that was on Dion's vessel as a joke. Now it's on the bottom of the sea cave floor. He is walking along the bottom and soon becomes hopelessly tangled in the line. He pulls and pulls, hoping to find a good place to cut, but his movements become slower as his oxygen runs out.
Okay, there he goes, he's moving on again. Now, breathing very hard.
I won't show the end, but sadly he did not make it out of the cave and passed in the darkness next to Dion. Let's never forget his valiant final dive and take a moment to recognize his bravery. It was his 333rd dive. Do you have the common care to tame a snake? This shocking footage will make you question your own bravery. The video shows a man grabbing a thick snake with his bare hands. The snake looks around 10 feet long and arches toward the man when he pulls back. As the snake appears to be aggressive, the man holds up one arm. He is apparently trying to grab a hold of the snake close to its head, which he manages to do upon his second attempt. He takes the snake with both hands in a tight grip as it opens its mouth wide, baring its fangs. Then, as if with no care in the world, the man walks the snake over to some other workers, who pick up its tail and are taking photos with the beast. The footage ends there, but judging by this man's professionalism, I think we can safely guess the snake was properly removed to a more secure location. Build it and they will come, but maybe you don't really want them to come after all. Published by Grant Kopek in October of 2020, something creepy calls this cornfield home. Captured on a Ring camera, a homeowner is seen walking outside at night on the farm, but appears not to notice the enormous creature escaping from the cornfield in the background. As the man walks past, the large blurred figure moves from the cornfield toward a big garage to the left. It disappears behind some shadow in the background. Many in the comments think this is a ghost or an extraterrestrial, while others think it's simply a reflection from the man's jacket, although it very well could be the latter. YouTuber Master of None offers some great advice for the farmer. Don't sleep ever again. If I lived beside that cornfield, I'd have to say I'd be doing the same thing. Every child has an imaginary friend, but this one is not so imaginary. Posted to TikTok by elkakoi.tv, a father enters his daughter's room around 7 p.m. as she laughs uncontrollably with someone. As the father rounds the corner, he says his daughter's name. Then he spots this figure peering out from behind her. He rushes over to find no one there, and his daughter looks as though she's in a trance that he can't shake her out of. What is going on here? While many in the comments admit this is too creepy, commenter xgamermamax sums up my feelings. She writes, "Well, I won't be sleeping today."
Hey, me. Hey, me.
A possible ghost sighting in the Indian town of Kudail has left construction worker witnesses wondering what it was they saw walking around late at night. You can hear them talking about the figure when suddenly it lets out a loud scream that all of them hear over the construction equipment. This video is real, warns the uploader, who says that this was taken by his sister's friend at 2:30 in the morning. I'm not sure if I believe him or not, but if I lived in the area, I definitely wouldn't take the chance of walking around early in the morning and finding out. A paranormal investigator from India named Deepti Vlog and her ghost hunting crew go exploring what, in their words, is one of the most haunted places in all of Madhya Pradesh. It's a long trek through some scary woods just to get there, and they are also quite sure some creepy things will be caught on camera before the night is through. In the distance, they see a figure walking slowly off the beaten path, and then it just sort of mysteriously disappears into the darkness. All of them run much faster than the figure was moving, but when they get to where they had just had the ghost sighting, they find an empty clearing and nothing more. A person cautiously follows a winding road at night using only the light on their phone to guide them. They sense danger on the right and look over. Nothing is there, but their feeling of being watched does not go away. So they look over again, and that's when they make contact.
All time.
A short creature with a portly body atop long legs does its best to escape the flashlight. At 1 minute and 36 seconds, we see that the overall gray coloring of the creature, when under the light, does match the rest of the background remarkably well. There's no obvious blurring around the edges of the creature either, which indicates that this may in fact be authentic, unedited footage. A YouTuber named Sarah Elizabeth brings some friends to search for ghosts at the Columbia State Park in California. When they start hearing weird noises, they think it could be an old water pump turning on, but I'm not so sure. So you tell me what this is.
45 degrees out. It was pretty cold. What is that sound?
Later, they are walking down a historic street when they get a bad feeling about one of the houses. These historic houses are empty, and no one has lived in them for quite some time. Check out the curtains here at the 10-minute mark. Notice how they are pretty much closed. Now look again, and 15 seconds later, you'll see they do appear to be open much wider this time.
Doesn't that curtain look like it's moving? Over there?
Finally, as they look out onto the old creepy street, their camera picks up this nearby growl.
I never kept.
They don't seem to hear it until later, but tell me if you can. A YouTuber named Shavir Joffrey has been hearing loud knocks and other strange noises at night, so he decides to half-jokingly ghost search around his house for fun. Nothing happens until he starts talking about what he is going to do to the ghost when he catches it. Do you think this is paranormal, or just a friend off camera?
You know, any ghost that comes in, game over, my... Did you hear that? Did you...
Okay, so that might not be enough to convince you, but as soon as they crack more jokes, they hear a slight scraping noise, kind of like somebody breathing through a straw, and this time it is right by them. I think there's another part that they might have missed. Do you hear someone take a breath here?
And we're like, I think...
This creature in the sky is unidentifiable, but it's got 6 legs. We originally came across this video on the Spanish-speaking Scary Video community in June of 2019. The thing appears to have a pinhead, multiple crab-like legs, and finally wings. As you can see, when it takes off from the tree branch it's crouched upon. The creature looks extraterrestrial. It's certainly something nobody has seen on Earth. Whatever it is, you don't want this monster hiding under your bed. We managed to track down the original source, and this turns out to be a CGI creature made by the Nicaraguan YouTube team, JJPD Producciones. So if you come across this video because it's spreading all over the internet, now you know its true origins. Some property owners just can't let go. Posted by Sour Sweet Gone to the Ghosts subreddit. The previous owner of this restaurant makes his jealousy known. The security footage shows some employees behind the counter at the restaurant, preparing some paperwork. No customers are present, and that's probably a good thing. Suddenly, a framed picture on the wall falls straight down onto the one below it and flips over onto the floor. One of the workers literally throws his hands into the air while the other jumps, covering her mouth in astonishment. According to the Redditor, the picture that fell was an award for the new owner's restaurant. Is the previous owner sore about their success? Some of the comments suggest the nail or wall fastening fell out or broke, but the Redditor has an answer for that and says the nail was still in the wall and the way it was hung made falling on its own seem unlikely. So what do you think? Broken nail or jealous ghost? I think that's a pretty fair explanation about the nail, so I'm definitely leaning on the side of the paranormal. When unexplained shadows fall, your only recourse is to search for an answer. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Sammy Sam 1870 writes, "It was 2:06 a.m. and there was no one walking around, nor were there any cars in sight when this mysterious shadow strolled across my security camera. The following day, I tried to figure out where it could have came from, but found no explanation. The security camera footage shows a black shadow cast upon the ground, moving across the screen. As the Redditor explains, nothing visible in the area is casting the shadow. So do we have a shadow figure on our hands, or is this just a bug caught at a weird angle? Is this phantom nurse here to heal you or to hurt you? Published by Luan Mendez in May of 2020. Luan and his crew are exploring an abandoned hospital whose staff hasn't really left. Wandering the halls, they seem to turn down one hallway where they seem to spot something skulking in the darkness. The thing must have disappeared, so they move on, continuing in their search, and that's when they see her, Nurse Ratchet.
Meu Deus! Que é isso?
They race away as fast as they can, and one of the crew falls unexpectedly to the ground. It almost looks like he was clotheslined by something invisible. The crew manages to make it out of the hospital alive, and that's no thanks to the creepy phantom nurse. Are there spirits at play here, or just pranksters? Published in November of 2018. This security camera footage shows some suspicious activity in this man's driveway. A man is seen walking to his driveway's gate at around 1 in the morning. As he opens the gate and steps out, a chair that is sitting about 10 feet away flies off the handle, making the man jump out of there. Another dude is seen racing out of the driveway as well. Another short clip shows the man organizing and stacking items in a storage room. As he does, the door suddenly closes. Again, he jumps up, clearly scared. Are these strange events paranormal? Or is some jokester playing pranks on this innocent person? I'm siding with the paranormal option for this one. It might be time to call an exorcist. A young woman was walking home late at night when she was met with a worst-case scenario. Someone was following her. Posted to TikTok by Carolina Judah. The TikToker captures a montage of her journey from the foggy streets to the bus to a dark walk on her road home. A man is seen standing behind the bus stop. He is nothing but a shadow. She says she ignored him and just continued walking. Capturing a shot between her though, she finds that he's trailing her about 20 feet away. As the journey continues, he seems to be speeding up, and in fact, he gets closer. He appears to be wearing a hood. Carolina says he began shouting something at her, and she thought he'd been drinking. He falls behind a ways, and as soon as she rounds a bend, she sprints home. Although she couldn't see him anywhere when she arrived, 20 minutes later, she heard the doorbell at the gate. She called her mom, but there was no answer. And outside her window, she spotted the man standing just outside the gate. The man later jumped to the gate, crossed the garden, and tried yanking on the door handle. Carolina locked herself inside the bathroom, waiting for her parents to arrive. He eventually stopped, but she stayed put, too afraid to move. In the video's comments, TikTokers suggest not to walk home when you're being followed, but rather lead the stalker to someplace with people and/or bright lights. This route looked like it had neither, so what should she do in this case? Any suggestions? Just by looking at the exterior of this house, you can tell it's clearly haunted. Published by Han Kardesler, these 3 paranormal investigators are doing a ritual just to make sure. Circling a small table with candles lit on top, the men are seen grasping the table and chanting a ritual, while noises are heard around them. Then outside they see this. A pale face in the window moves away. Back inside, the men are chanting around the table again, when a wheeled chair rolls into view. One of the men seems to be shocked by something unexplained and without a word walks away. The others follow him, uncertain of where he went. They find him outside, standing at a distance in the darkness. He is suddenly snatched by someone and pulled from view. They find him in a strange stick hut and appear to talk him into normalcy. But what of the snatcher? Was this the work of the mad face in the window? I think so. Something is terrorizing these poor pets. Originally posted to TikTok by El Otro Lado 21, a pair of pups are surprised by an unknown object being pulled or pushed across the ground. The security footage shows an item roll across the floor, seemingly on its own. Is it being dragged? Is it being rolled? By whom? One dog moves from his seat on the couch, while the other merely lifts his head as the object rolls before following his friend's lead. Is a human playing a trick on these animals? Or is it a phantom? Catholics honor the departed on November 2nd with All Souls Day, praying for the souls of their departed family and friends, often with visits to the graveyard. What happens when the soul hasn't crossed over? Published by Own Vlogs, these paranormal investigators visited a haunted graveyard in order to answer that question. As the crew wanders around the cemetery's open graves, they suddenly see this vague pale figure in the distance. After glancing over several times at the figure, the men get too scared by its stillness and start running off.
कुछ चीज है तो वो हाईवे होने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं पर ये क्या खड़े हो जाओ निकलो यहाँ से स्पीड से थोड़ा सा ये क्या है
Gathering some courage, they turn and look back. The figure is still there. They run off again and straight out of the cemetery. Was this a soul that hadn't yet crossed over? Or just a graveyard statue? In any event, this is one scary video that went horribly wrong.
रास्ते में खड़ी है ये जो भी है रास्ते में यार अरे भाई इधर से निकल भाई इधर
This house guest is eternal. Published by Jojo Owens in February of 2022, Jojo explains that he, his wife, and several guests in his home had witnessed a shadow-like movement in the living room out of the corner of their eyes. That's why when Owens heard a noise in the back room one night while his wife was sleeping, he set up his phone camera to record. This is what he captured. A tall shadowy figure is seen moving across the lit doorway at the end of the room. After witnessing this, Owens grabbed his phone camera to investigate, but turned up nothing. Neither was there anything in the room that might cast this shadow. Although one commenter suggested that there may be someone squatting in the Owens home, Owens said this has been going on for 3 years, so it's highly unlikely. To whom does this shadow belong then? Another dog with something to prove. Posted to YouTube by It's Just Mars in March of 2012, the uploader writes that her dog does this most nights. The clip shows the dog on high alert for 5 minutes, growling, barking, and whining. At the end of the video, the uploader says that the closet door just opened on its own. The dog appears very upset by this and is pacing around the bed. I really think that the dog was right about everything. There's something unseen in this house. On March 17th, 2021, members of Museo del Horror traveled to a derelict building in an unknown city in Mexico, live streaming the entire adventure. Just after beginning their investigation, the group ventures to the side of the building. As they come to some stairs on the side, a faint growl can be heard on the audio. None of the participants notice it during filming, but viewers were quick to point it out in the comments. It sounds either like a growl or an attempt to whisper something, but it is difficult to determine what. From here, they enter the building, which is hollowed out and falling apart. Nothing of note happens until just after the 40-minute mark of the stream. A high-pitched noise can be heard, almost like a screech or another hiss, albeit longer than the previous one heard. It's also possible that this was the sound of something rubbing against another object, similar to metal rubbing against metal. The last speculation is it could be someone breathing in, possibly one of the explorers, although nobody else seems to be around except Alfondo holding the camera, and he starts speaking before the sound goes away.
Si está bien la distancia, todo está bien.
The team decides to conduct a Ouija board session, which is not recommended for amateur explorers, by the way, to see if they can get any activity. Not long after starting, a very faint voice can be heard on the audio.
¿Hay alguien aquí?
Oh, escuchan.
Have a spot.
It sounds as if there are words in there, but it is almost impossible to make out. The voice can be heard speaking, over questions being asked. Could someone be trying to communicate? Soon they get an answer of yes on the board after being asked a question, and the board remains active for some time. When asked if it is a man, it responds no. Throughout the session, dogs can be heard barking wildly in the background. The dogs were rather quiet prior to starting the Ouija board, and now they are nearly frantic. Animals are known to be sensitive of the paranormal. Could they be distressed at what the team is doing? Or is there another explanation? In the midst of the session, by far the most bizarre event happens. Alfondo's attention is called away to a strange light manifesting on the opposite side of the building from where they are. In the opposite corner, it appears as if a flame has been lit, flickering. Suspicious others might be in the building. They call out and make their way to the area. One of the team members shows a few photos she took, and along with the glow of a fire, the windows make it appear to be daylight outside. However, the video camera always showed the windows to be dark. Furthermore, the photo camera was not using a flash, meaning it could not be a reflection. What could this mean? They decide to do a spirit box session, and instantly, the sounds the box makes sound straight out of a horror movie itself. While it is most likely caused by the rapid switching through radio frequencies, we have never heard another session sound as terrifying as this. Alfondo walks with the device to the other end of the building, and throughout hears some disturbing sounds. First, what sounds like someone wailing in distress. The most disturbing capture of the night is what sounds like a child crying out in fear or pain. It's hard to imagine what could have happened at the location, as it appears some manner of horrors still reside there, endlessly crying out in the afterlife. A YouTuber named Exploring with Felicity is exploring an abandoned house when her solo paranormal investigation goes very wrong. She thinks she hears spooky and creepy noises upstairs, and I do too.
Very creepy.
Whatever it is, it doesn't sound like a wild animal.
I'm just trying to get used to.
She makes it to the second floor and is about to go to the third when a spectral figure passes by. We don't get to see if this was a real ghost sighting or a scary stranger dressed in all black, because she is too busy running out of the abandoned house to get a closer look, which to some is all the paranormal evidence needed to conclude this scary video is probably real. Paranormal and other strange oddities aren't the only things to be courageous about. Normal everyday occurrences can often result in sheer fear. This video clip reveals one of these horrifying incidents, uploaded to YouTube in November of 2018. The home security footage shows a fire erupting in the home's kitchen, unbeknownst to the people inside the home, who you can hear in the background in another room of the house. It appears as though the homeowners left something cooking on the stove. At first, you just see it rising onto the kitchen counter, then that something erupts into flames. The blaze continues to grow as the fire heats up. You can hear a baby crying in the other room as the family remains unaware to the fact that their kitchen is on fire. Finally, when a high-pitched sound is heard, the homeowners rush into the room. As the flames grow higher, the woman rushes into the room beyond, perhaps to look for an extinguisher. She then opens what appears to be the oven, but the blaze just rises more, and the fire alarm finally starts sounding off. The man then rushes into the room with a bucket of water, a toddler fast on his heels, but when he throws the water over the flames, they jump, causing the man to stumble backwards. As many in the comments of this video note, it appears to be a grease fire, which you should never throw water on. Others suggest they should have grabbed the child and evacuated before making any attempt to put the fire out. Comments also suggest purchasing a new fire alarm and extinguisher, as it took an awfully long time for the alarm to alert them to the danger rising in their home. It does appear as though the flames went out, as the man scoops up his kid and the homeowners leave. Hopefully they got out of there, and were able to call the fire department before this fire consumed their entire house. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by SufficientFly3271. This Redditor wrote, "Can you feature this in one of your videos? My name is Brittany Keel. I live in Richmond, Vermont, and I hear these noises almost every night/morning. Finally got it on video, always around 2:30 in the morning. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about." There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Anarchy881 writes, "Dogman maybe?" While Dusty Stories wrote, "Don't know what we're supposed to be hearing besides tree frogs and birds, but whatever it was, my dog was very interested in what it was saying. Which side are you on here? Let me know in the comments." Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by KaneSweet2000. This Redditor wrote, "Hi all, we moved into a council house since January, and we had some very strange things happening. We have a vintage radio and it has been making some strange noises. The weird thing is there isn't any batteries inside it. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about."
Fish?
Sorry, Linda. Sorry, what's that?
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Lechiflada wrote, "That's really strange." Well, GameCat UK wrote, "Where is the radio in the video? Do you have a picture? I have a feeling it's a rare example of an old semiconductor picking up on local radio waves, though the amplification is baffling. I think the radio is that thing in the bottom left corner at the 5-second mark. Which side are you on here? Let me know in the comments." Ghost investigations are even scarier in another language. In this video posted to YouTube in December of 2018, ghost investigators attempt to infiltrate an abandoned house that we can only guess is haunted. At least it looks that way. While exploring the home, the investigator keeps hearing things moving, debris being unsettled, and from the way he's jerking his camera around, it seems he's sensing movements around him. What is in this home with him? The place appears as though someone just picked up and left. It's covered with debris and looks like it was abandoned in a state of chaos. While creeping around some upstairs room, the ghost investigators appear to sense someone or something, and that something grabs a hold of him. It's clear he's struggling with a force in the home. He tussles with it and for a moment is dragged backwards by the force before he escapes, racing out of there like his life depends on it, which it probably does. What is going on in this video? Is there any explanation as to what pulled this ghost investigator backwards? It certainly looks real to me. For fear of knowing, don't answer. After all, I don't think 99% of people could handle the answer.
어딨어? 자신 있으면 나와봐.
A YouTuber named Brett Johnson says there is a ghost in the hallway of his house haunting him every night when he returns from work. And what's most bizarre is that the paranormal activity only happens in the hallway. The ghost doesn't seem to care about haunting any other places. It's not a draft either. Even with a big fan blowing the opposite way, a ghost still closes the door. And when he puts his camera down and waits for 2 hours, the door behind the fan mysteriously opens. It's like the ghost is messing with his mind. I would say that this is a fake video except for one thing. When he investigates the rest of his house to show us, nothing is there. A weird noise happens nearby, like something passes right by him, and it seems to have left through the front door. Something's Watching You. Published by Paranormal Instincts in January of 2022, a girl was walking her dog at night in the woods when she captured something observing her amongst the trees. The video clip shows the girl walking along a dirt path in the darkness. As her camera pans to the side, a tall, gaunt, pale figure dressed in dark clothes is spotted, standing next to a tree watching her. Although she doesn't seem to see it, her dog senses someone there. He stops and looks in the figure's direction on full alert. She has to urge the dog to come along.
Come on. Come on.
When she pans the camera back toward the same tree, the figure is no longer there. They continue on their walk, hopefully without any further encounter. But I imagine after watching this video back, there will be no further midnight walks either. Saulo Brenner claims to have caught a ghost on camera at an abandoned cemetery somewhere in Brazil. Across the street is a shadow figure caught moving on tape. It looks pretty decent until you zoom in and see the ghost sighting is most likely a blur effect or a camera glitch. The date and time look messed up too, further evidence that the CCTV video has been edited and not paranormal. This dashcam video was taken in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it shows a tiny bipedal creature scurry across the road, not even as tall as the concrete barrier on the right. It looks pretty good until you look down at the feet and notice that it's gliding across the road and not taking real steps. So in my opinion, I think it might be computer animation. What do you think? A ghost hunter named Zaphod Bebley Brox is at the Hill House Manor in Gainesville, Texas. When they get activity on their equipment, the rules of communication are 1 blink for yes and 2 blinks for no, but this spirit presses no many times over when asked if it is an older man.
Are you the male that just came back in here?
No, it's a little girl.
His partner thinks it must be one of the 2 children spirits known to roam this floor, and when they ask if it wants to play, first he uses the equipment to say no, and then he uses its actual voice. It even answers like a child, waiting until the adult says no before repeating him in a small sad voice.
Are you the little girl? Would you like to play jets? Can you say yes or no?
Bounce?
No.
Judging by how she is in no mood to play, I'd say something bad must have happened to them, something that's keeping them trapped with no release forever. This CCTV footage comes from the London Dungeon, a famous tourist attraction in England that's rumored to be haunted. An employee is tending to their duties in the laundry room all alone. When they go to open the door to the washing machine, a hand reaches out and makes a grab at them. Weirder still is how the camera switches to static merely moments before this happens. Since technological malfunctions can often indicate the presence of the paranormal, and also given the location, I think this strange video could definitely be real, and if so, it's something that this employee will never be able to unsee. This unexplained shadow was uploaded by a paranormal ghost hunter named K. Owen. I think it could just be a fast-moving insect, especially since this was recorded on a summer night in the South, but according to K, this is the spirit of a poltergeist in Kentucky who eventually went on to become quite destructive. If K's story is to be believed, then this unexplained shadow is the spirit of a person who took a woman's life in this camper years ago. The deranged paranormal entity would eventually go on to destroy the camper by burning it down just 2 weeks into the paranormal investigation. Kevin Ramos is holding a paranormal investigation session at the Fort Delaware, which was in use from the mid-1800s to the mid-1900s, and is said to be ripe with spiritual activity even after being decommissioned well over 50 years ago. After a day of walking, they stop and ask a few questions to the spirits upon nightfall. Look what happens when they try to get to know more about the ghost of a person stationed here.
Did you like him? Can you cross the rods if you liked him?
First, a white apparition passes by, followed by a black shadow that one of them actually catches out of the corner of their eye. This isn't their reflection in the window, because none of them are walking, and in this exact moment, this person thinks they feel a tap on their shoulder and shine a light behind them to make sure. It definitely looks like something was near them to say the very least. Why she didn't say something as soon as it happened is something I don't know. I guess they were too scared at the time. A YouTuber named R. Travis is exploring a haunted restaurant that used to serve Chinese food. The inside is extremely old, and the walls have rotted down to bare support beams. He feels watched and grows increasingly anxious, and begins to talk loud and fast to himself in an effort to keep calm. Sometime during his nervous ranting, he makes a comment out loud about a spirit he sees standing at the top of the stairs.
I don't give two flat. Oh, it's a set of stairs here. Let's roll. They might not be stable. I just seen a figure up there, but I'm not answering. I'm chasing him.
Nothing really stands on camera. Could this purple triangular shape be whatever it was he was talking about? At first, he says he's going to leave it alone, but up the steps he finds nothing but an old musty attic with a worn-out floor, but there's more than that up here.
I just seen another figure then. 3 black spirits have seen them pass me now.
Aside from this white light that passes by at 3 minutes and 10 seconds, I do see some shadow figures. And a final shadow figure with white eyes can be seen here at 3 minutes and 22 seconds. They're all about the same height, scattered around different parts of the room, and with all of them still watching, R. Travis abruptly ends the video. We've all done it, almost choked on something while distracted, but what should you do if you find yourself in this position while you're alone? This CCTV footage shows how a guy almost passed away while prepping a restaurant to open. The guy is doing his rounds, wiping down tables and getting everything in order, when suddenly he slows down, hitting his chest a couple times. It's clear something is going wrong, but he doesn't seem too concerned yet. He attempts to continue with his tasks for a moment, but then realizes this is serious. Walking to the middle of the floor, he bends to touch his knees and appears to be trying to stay calm. As he continues to pound his chest and bend over, trying to eject the piece of gum that's lodged in his throat, he starts to panic. He cannot breathe. He attempts to shout for help, but nothing comes out. While panicking more and more and getting increasingly unsteady from lack of air, he attempts to give himself the Heimlich with his hands. Still nothing. He then positions a chair to give him the Heimlich, bending over it and trying to fall the right way. Having already gone a couple minutes without breathing, he does this a few times. No luck. It's starting to look like a lost cause, but at the last second, the gum ejects from his throat. He is able to stand up again and looks incredibly relieved, as he should. He nearly passed away from a piece of gum. This mini golf course is haunted by so many golfers who didn't win their round. Published to YouTube by Urban Ghosts Urban Exploration in April of 2021, Joe, Rob, and Kate are up for a course in fear as they explore this abandoned mini golf in the middle of a lightning storm. The whole thing kicks off with nothing but whispers. In the beginning, as they explore a room that's been torn apart, you can hear this whispering in the background. As they continue to explore, there's another voice that sounds like it says, "That's creepy," as they come across a stuffed teddy bear. Joe notes that the teddy bear wasn't here when he last visited the place. As they move glass off the teddy a short while later, two distinct knocks are heard. Despite this, they continue exploring. At this point, in a darkened room, two lights shine clearly above Joe's head, but these could either be a passing vehicle's headlights shining through a window, or they might be from one of the crew's devices. At the same time, it sounds like a faint voice is heard.
Either road noise, or somebody potentially walking around out there and it makes little whispers.
As Joe is talking a short while later, something or someone is heard speaking over him.
Necrophonic app,
The voice is loud but muddled, and the crew seems to have heard it coming from outside the room. They decide to explore the ceiling air shaft. For a moment, you can hear weird laughter.
Who's up there?
Later, while filming inside the same air shaft, a distinct boom is heard which causes Kate to let out a terrifying scream. This, of course, scares the entire crew. Later, whispers are heard in the air shaft again. Then they film up inside the air shaft. This is when you can hear a muffled female voice. It sounds like it's saying "move on back" shortly after. Another knocking sound. The crew believes there's a spirit up in the air shaft. They are listening deeply, and at this point it sounds like a woman singing, but they don't appear to hear her on site. YouTuber Stella Gomez also notes that the sun ray has been moved against the wall at the end of the video. It wasn't there to begin with, so unless the crew moved it, then who did? Being as they usually don't disturb anything, its movement is all the more disturbing. Is the lady in the air shaft toying around with them? Nothing like a good legend to call up some creepy videos. Posted by YouTuber Leonardo Martinez in January of 2016. The video is entitled El Pombero and El Dorado, Misones Real. What is El Pombero? According to Latin American legend, the mythological gnome-like figure is rife in the Paraguayan forest, but can be found across southern Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. Pombero is mainly seen at night in rural areas and forests, holding up in sheds and abandoned structures. He likes to mimic bird sounds, and the inexplicable chirping of birds is said to indicate that Pombero is near. If anyone so much as speaks Pombero's name out loud, he will harass them. Now that you know the myth, let's take a look at this video, which claims to have caught live-action footage of the creature. Filmed in the forest, a group of folks are wandering through the trees when, off to the side, something that looks like a short stump starts to move. The figure hobbles in an uncanny way, leaning on a crutch. Needless to say, the people rush off in fear. It certainly looks jarring and uncannily real. If you live in Paraguay, I guess it's time to hide. You don't want to cross paths with this mischief maker. Most of the time, security cameras capture hours and hours of useless footage. Sometimes, however, they capture something like this. Published in September of 2013, YouTuber Rainy Schooler writes, "A woman walks out of the darkness on a cold and wet night in the mountains far from a busy road and no immediate neighbors. The security camera is aimed into the wilderness and you can see a tree to the right side of the screen but nothing else. That is until, right in the middle of the shot, the figure appears. walks and stops and turns awkwardly, not turning with her feet but just twisting with her upper body. Then she walks forward again before taking a sharp right turn and veering out of sight. The video moves forward about 45 seconds until the woman is seen winding around the tree and then is spotted back in the middle again, looking off into the wilderness, moving in the same strange start-stop fashion that she was doing before. A different security camera captures the woman walking up towards the house. Out of sight, it's not clear what she did alongside of the home, but she is soon seen again walking haphazardly away and around the same area near the tree in the back. She did this for 10 minutes, the video notes. Many in the comments think this woman must have been on something, but in the middle of nowhere. What do you think? I'm just glad they had security cameras so the homeowners were aware of her activities. This leaked video is over 10 years old and comes from Tacoma County in Washington. A couple are hiking together on Valentine's Day when they hear something in the sky and look up.
Oh my god.
That is on fire.
Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Some kind of meteorite falls towards Earth, and they rush down the path to investigate. They quickly find the rock sticking out of the ground and make a quick video to document their find.
Yes, it is. Go talk, please.
This thing has come out of the sky.
Their reactions seem pretty real, but I'm not sure if I believe that a meteorite could land that closely without causing some kind of damage to them. Let me know if you think this video is legitimate. I'm especially interested in learning exactly what happens to people who are close to a meteorite, because from what I understand, I thought they usually go deaf from the impact. A lot of scary ghost sightings involve a doorway or a window. They always seem to be haunting a passageway leading into the house. At 31 seconds, a pale apparition leans in to peek through the doorway of this building. Then the mysterious figure is gone, disappeared. I couldn't find anything to explain what was moving in the door. The ghost hunter later explains, after doing some more research, he says this haunted place is home to voices of children laughing and playing, stories that further creep him out. This building was a funeral home before the haunted place was abandoned. The cameraman is too scared to get near the haunted place, let alone go exploring, but a possible long-distance ghost sighting leaves him freaked out. I agree, there is something in the doorway. Whether it's a ghost or not is hard to say from here, but something is there and that's pretty weird. A Reddit user named Poncy Flauns hears something outside of his home that leaves him too afraid to move. Listen to this part and tell me if you hear a creepy woman's voice carrying a twisted tune. The haunting melody repeats over and over again, growing louder each time. There's no way that this is an animal. One person commented that this sounds like it could be an opera, and I can't say that they're wrong. Listen again.
Like, what is that?
Then you hear what sounds to me like a cry for help, and the singing never returns. If I lived in that house, I would be immediately locking all the doors and windows. Is my house haunted? Writes a user named BB5432 on the haunted subreddit. This paranormal video of their place was caught on a neighbor's doorbell cam across the street, who later showed it to her out of concern. It doesn't look like much at first, but there's actually a lot of creepy things going on in this video that you might not see. But first, let's start with the basics. The Reddit poster claims her house was completely dark when these mysterious, unexplained lights started flashing all around the door. The television in the living room was not on, she says, and even if it were on, it's facing the opposite way at an angle that would not create this effect at all. Whether or not to believe her is up to you. I do, because the flashing seems too bright for a television and takes up the whole window at times. Nobody would watch a television screen that bright because it would undoubtedly hurt to look at for that long. And at 25 seconds, the creepy light grows even brighter and does not subside until the video ends. BB5432 later posted, she has no further reason to think their house is haunted, but still struggles to explain what this was if not a ghost. She adds the same thing happened to her years ago. The same neighbor showing her and her husband lights in their door, and nobody could figure it out then either. Someone said they should check the electrical wiring in that room, which I agree is a good move. But other than that, everyone else says this is super weird, and even she has to admit she's creeped out. There's also one more weird thing that I wasn't even going to mention, except she saw it too. A shadow figure in the doorway. You can see it whenever the lights go down, but it's probably most apparent at 4 seconds. I took a still image and zoomed in. Here it is with no special effects whatsoever. The outline of a shadow figure looking out the window. Tell me if you can see it too. I'd say that house is haunted, if that's not a resident. Built around 1635, the Pidhertsi Castle is said to be one of the most haunted places in Ukraine. Take a look at some of the best paranormal evidence ever taken out of the creepy castle.
Andriana! Andriana!
A ghostly figure appears in the window and waves at them before mysteriously disappearing. It's not a reflection of clouds because of how quick it fades in and out. The person filming calls out the name Adriana, who I think was the name of one of the king's many wives hundreds of years ago, and whose life was possibly taken by him. Or it's just good editing. Hard to say. This place is said to be absolutely flooded with supernatural forces, so who knows? YouTuber Donna Aries has a roommate that she cannot see. Let's take a look at this mischievous poltergeist in action.
Just come in, just heard something, so just grabbed my iPad to see if I see anything, and I'm sure I saw the cup move, so I've just grabbed me. There you go, again.
Donna does a good job of reassuring viewers that this is no gimmick.
Under there, that's just a bracket from an old drawer that used to be there. There's nothing in the cupboard, it's just cutlery and stuff. Nothing under there apart from pots and pans, there's no magnets.
Even if the surface was wet, the way it's moving is not how an object would move across a wet surface.
Underneath there's nothing, it's just an old metal cup. No.
And then this happens.
Oh my gosh. The surface isn't wet or anything, it's all dry. So there's no reason for it to be moving. And it's moving again.
The only thing I can think of to debunk this is the nearby stove. If it's an induction stove, then it uses magnetic fields to generate heat. It would follow that a metal cup nearby would be drawn if the field is strong enough, but that's just a theory, and the way the cup moves is too erratic. Do you have any ideas? In this house, you'll expect a jump scare around every corner. After experiencing paranormal events in his family home, this man decided to take some video to see if he could capture anything on camera. Let's take the haunted tour. What is happening here? He finds a flower on the stairs. He claims no one in the household knows where it came from. Is this not a warning, as the YouTuber believes? Well, upstairs in the bedroom, it happens again.
Oh man. You think you've got what they're
something just threw the clothes from the wardrobe. If those knocks were a warning, I'd take the clothes as a clear message. This ghost wants you to leave. A YouTuber named Cringy Parkour thinks he hears a scream from within the mouth of a sewer pipe and stands outside contemplating what to do. He walks into the pipe for about half a minute and comes across one of the most authentic looking creatures that I've seen so far.
What the? Hello?
There's very little to make me believe this video is fake. You only see it for a split second, but the creature has glowing eyes and what appears to be long, sharp teeth. The audio really does match the overall timing of the video, and the creature's screams echo loudly and realistically as it gives chase. I really hope that this video is fake, and that this was just one of his friends, but something tells me this was probably real. Pasha Pal is a popular YouTuber in Russia who gets into some pretty crazy adventures, but only one video's creepy enough to make this count down. I'm talking about the time he and Maria went exploring some woods that are said to be frequented by members of a secret society. They bring their camera, but if caught, scary things will no doubt happen to them in a moment's notice. They are outsiders in this world. Soon they come across a fire pit and know they've found a main camp. Some discarded red candles are near a small altar with this picture, and I would like to know more about who this is a picture of and what they're known for. That way we can know more about what this society is up to. They decide it's not worth risking their lives going any deeper and start to make the long trip back to his bike. That's when they realize they've already stayed too long, saw too much, and now they can't leave the forest alive.
В натуре правда. Короче, в натуре валим отсюда.
Maria thinks she hears somebody, and it appears she's right. Lurking in the forest is this mysterious figure who tries unsuccessfully to step out of view. There is still enough time to run away, and so they take off as fast as they can. What happens when your shop vandals turn out to be paranormal? This security footage was published in April of 2010 by Old Phantom 13. He writes, "We had been having problems with people breaking into and vandalizing our shop, or so we thought, so we set up several security cameras. This is what one of our cameras picked up. If you watch closely at the beginning, you'll be able to see what we believe is some type of spirit or ghost. The video shows lockers inside the shop slamming closed, one after another. Then repeated slamming noises are heard off screen. A wheelchair in the middle of the room rolls slowly from one side to the other. What do you think? Are these ghosts into vandalism? Or is this another video of strings, like some in the comments suggest? It certainly looks convincing when I look at it." A supposed mermaid was captured sunning itself on the rocks beside this murky lake. Posted to TikTok. You may want to avoid the water after seeing this clip. Did you notice that there are two of them? You can see the other one's head peek up. Well, some in the comments say this is a real mermaid, and mermaids in fact look scary like this. I'm not so sure about this video's authenticity. I did some digging online, and it turns out the video's original source is YouTube channel, JJPD Producciones, which specializes in CGI. Whether you choose to believe this is real or fake, it is definitely an impressive reimagination. Things get scary on the open road. This is yet another case of a driver gone a little too ragey. The video is self-explanatory. The Mercedes driver gets out of his car, carrying a metal pole, but the driver is on his toes. Putting pedal to the metal, he speeds off-road and leaves the would-be assailant in the dust. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what little driving infraction happened in the lead-up to this scary incident. No one should spring from their vehicle with a metal pole with the intent of getting revenge. This most haunted hospital in Guadalajara carries an evil energy, and this crew is there to investigate it. When they turn down a dark hallway, they appear to see some movement.
Oye, acabo de ver algo que se asomó. ¿Lo viste?
Sí.
Ah, ya, al fondo.
Things intensify as they start to hear noises in the hospital.
Hoy. Ok, aquí es donde está poniéndose más tenso.
They walk down the hallway and come across a creepy surgical room.
Mira esto. Mira esto.
They feel a presence in the chapel.
Que son utilizados, bueno, para parte de esto, pero para otras cosas más pesadas. Si escuché esa voz. Muchas veces no lo quiero decir porque espero que la gente lo diga, pero sí lo escuché. Tú lo escuchaste.
Then they hear something unexpected.
Madre, ¿dónde está el perro? Ya me lo imaginé que venía de todo. Ah, sí, está bien el perrito entonces.
Is that Cujo? They seem to hear something in this room.
Energía en el cabello.
Later, they walk down the hallway into a room where many people say they feel anguish.
Cuando pasábamos por vidrios o espejos.
Otra vez.
Ok.
Otra sensual, right?
La gente dice se siente angustia en ese cuarto.
The woman also explains why they light candles to spirits instead of offering up their own energy.
Yo siempre ofrezco mi energía, la verdad.
Eso no es tan bueno.
Eso no es bueno. ¿Qué me puedes decir eso?
No. Una, pues les estás diciendo que pueden tomar toda tu energía.
Well, I didn't see anything terrifying on this hospital tour. I do feel the energy being sucked out of me just watching this. Do you feel the same? Once you've investigated enough haunted places, you're bound to encounter a shadow figure or two. YouTuber Dennis from Dark Life faces off with one in this haunted house.
Yes, careful.
Did you see it? There's definitely something there, but it's not there for long. After it crosses the room, it vanishes completely. I think this demon won't reveal its full nature. At this point, he is but a shadow. YouTuber Joey Official is staying in the haunted Queen Mary in room B340. Watch what happens next.
Actually, here. And some see.
What is going on? Oh my god. What the hell is happening?
Room B340 has significant paranormal activity dating back to 1967.
What's going on? Oh my god. What the hell is happening?
Not only does the activity not look staged, but I'm sold that this place is haunted based on their sheer terror. This place is terrifying. YouTuber Terror Alextremo encountered tons of paranormal activity at this haunted playground. First, they hear children's voices in the darkness, and then they see a swing swinging on its own. Next, another childlike voice is heard.
No manches. No manches.
Then something bangs against the roof above.
Whoa.
And the children's voices are heard again.
Pues es muy lógico, ¿no? O sea, no está haciendo bastante aire como para que se esté moviendo de esa manera.
No, pues no está haciendo aire, hijo.
And again here.
Y mira, ahorita está como si nada.
Finally, they capture something visible on camera. Later, another figure is moving through the tall brush.
Algo va pasando, ¿ya viste?
I'm not sure if the figure is a child, but the voices throughout the video definitely sound like it. Is this a case of the urban legend of black-eyed children? I wouldn't get near enough to find out. Is there something in the attic? Redditor Airiser suspects so. After hearing tapping on the attic wall, they meet it with Sage. And this is what they captured. What was that sound? I tend to agree with Titus that this sounds like a metallic spring bang, but that doesn't necessarily negate a paranormal presence. Perhaps the spirit's just jumping up and down on the bed. A YouTuber named Darren's Northern Life is doing some last-minute hunting at the end of the season. He sees a parked truck early on and knows that other hunters must be around, which means everybody should be extra careful. A short while later, he finds himself in one of the worst situations a hunter could ever possibly imagine.
Oh my goodness, that bullet just came over my head.
Darren hears the shot whiz by his head and scrambles for cover behind some trees. The other hunters still haven't noticed they are firing on another person and seem to be out of shouting range.
This guy's gonna freaking kill me.
Darren scrambles to safety and can't even believe what just happened. Later, he goes back to the truck and records their license plate. They just so happen to be coming back as well.
Taking pictures of the license plate. Is something wrong? Everything all right? Somebody shot at me.
They claim it was a different person and not anyone in their party. Without any concrete evidence, I don't think there's much Darren can legally do besides upload the video and make the event public. Let me know if you think he has enough evidence to press charges based on what you've seen. When two strangers pull up to your boat on the Nile, you have to assume the worst. This area is known for pirates. They cast a line and tie themselves to the ship in preparation to board.
Oh dear lord.
The one in white reaches down and then back turned, stands up while holding something.
Alright guys, look for art. Does anyone see an RPG in there?
He reaches back into his pocket and pulls out nothing but towels. As it turns out, this area is full of traveling salesmen too, even at sea. Still, I think they probably should have ran for help as soon as they thought these could be pirates, instead of recording in plain sight and making themselves an easy target. Two friends are riding down the Kerala highway in India when they see what they later agree has to have been a ghost of some kind. The figure is dressed in pure white and holding something, maybe a flashlight. Creepiest of all is how they seem to be deeply staring into the darkness at something. They are in such a deep state of concentration that they don't even look up when the car zooms by just a few feet away. They remain frozen in place and seem to be holding their face in surprise. If this is a ghost, then they could have been looking at the roadside remains of their own body. This scary highway encounter would have easily gone unnoticed forever, if not for a dashcam recording. Pay attention to the bottom right and you'll see a blurry figure slip under the car in a matter of seconds. Pause the video and you'll see the undeniable outline of a girl from the waist up. She appears to be wearing a white dress and staring ahead with a gray face. I guess this could be light reflecting off of the pavement, but this also really does look like the outline of a person who was once living. Maybe every so often they appear in the exact same location where they sadly lost their life years ago. This woman claims that she would go to bed at night only to be woken up by strange noises and left with the unshakable feeling that she was not alone. When she sets up a camera to record some evidence, she finds this bizarre footage the next day. Imagine watching yourself trying to sleep while this figure haunts your dreams. At one point, the supposed phantom appears to be lunging at her. She says that she believes she was still awake during this point and remembers seeing nothing. Only when the contrast on the video was enhanced did anything become visible. Is this cat talented, or is it possessed? Published by Darrell Zand in May of 2012, this couple captured their cat acting out of character, crawling between the upper door frames near the ceiling like some crazy trapeze artist. As the couple is filming, a mysterious, vibrant blue streak flies toward the camera. The cameraman sees it in the moment and comments on it.
Which thing they eat?
Yeah, that was weird.
What?
Was that a ghost orb? Some in the comments certainly think so, but most think the cat was scared beyond measure, not possessed. The cat even appears to watch the strange orb as it flies across the room. What do you think? Scared, possessed, or something else altogether? The Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York is weird, really weird. So weird that it's classified as a paranormal research center now for ghost hunters. Liam Neville is exploring the haunted asylum when something strange and maybe paranormal catches his attention. This is what he's caught on camera and what's been haunting his memories ever since.
Yeah, there's definitely somebody down here. There's a light coming from that. Unless there's a light down there. Whoa, yo.
Played in slow motion, and you'll see that his flashlight is off when they see the mysterious light in the hall. Liam and his friend are simultaneously frozen in place with fear and ecstatic.
I saw a figure at the end of the hallway.
So did I. Oh,
wow.
My.
I definitely saw that.
Yo, you saw that?
Yeah.
They claim to see a shadow figure in the hallway, and I think I might see it. 59 seconds into the video. What do you think?
Yo. Yo.
There's an older man who's looking out the window at Jacob Hessler and his friend, and it's freaking them out how he keeps leaving the spot and coming back to stare some more.
He's looking over. He's looking over. And now he walks away.
Some people suggest that the old man is simply looking at them because they were looking at him, and that they should just leave him alone. But this scenario still requires the old man to look out of his window in the middle of the night to notice they were there in the first place, which is odd. Maybe they were being loud or something, but the way they keep their voices low makes me think they were probably being quiet the whole time. So as it stands, this is a mysterious exchange without words and without explanation. A YouTuber named Adrian Bustamante documents yet another night of paranormal activity in his apartment to prove once and for all it's haunted. There are a few different paranormal videos on his channel, but March 9th of 2017 is when the best paranormal evidence yet is caught on camera. He doesn't have ghost hunting equipment, but he is still able to pin down the supernatural activity to one corner of the room. It isn't long before he gets all of the paranormal proof he needs.
Odd.
It looks like the object's moving by itself, but at 1 minute and 45 seconds, I'm almost positive there's a string tied around the bottom of the glass vase. My overall analysis is that Adrian's probably moving the object himself, but your opinion can help me decide if this paranormal evidence is fake or real. A paranormal explorer named Yash Sadiq brings us a ghost sighting all the way from Tamil Nadu, a large state in South India. This abandoned house has sat rotting for years until their investigation reveals the presence of something lurking within.
Hey, what is it?
A dark and mysterious figure watches them from the other side of a wall and then retreats. It looks like a real ghost sighting at first, but look again and you'll see a small edit here at 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Hey!
It could be a camera glitch from Paranormal Energy. However, I think the real reason for this edit is because they didn't like the way it looked the first time and decided to record the scene again. A dark alley gets even creepier when a mysterious figure peeks in from nowhere. At 6 seconds, it straightens up and briefly assumes a human form before losing its shape and abruptly flying away. A ghost sighting has been caught on tape if this security video is to be believed. If not, then it looks like an insect landed on the lens to create this effect and then flew away. Luke either has a problem with his car's motion detection system or his house is haunted. No in-betweens. So I know it's probably mistaking the can for a person because they're about the same size, but why does it suddenly do this? The trash can obviously doesn't move, and yet the icon abruptly turns towards him after 20 seconds of recording. It doesn't turn left, it doesn't look behind, it looks straight his way for no reason. Is this a real ghost sighting video or a glitch with his car? Exploration Unknown is a Knoxville-based urban exploration channel run by a man named John Turner. First appearing on YouTube in 2016, he dedicates his time to venturing into creepy abandoned locations, from derelict home to former orphanages and asylums. His choice of location will often have a gruesome true story behind them, including the takings of life and other horrible events. Back in November 2017, John, along with friends James and Tim, returned to the abandoned Glendale orphanage they previously explored. This time their goal was to conduct the infamous 3 a.m. challenge. In short, 3 a.m. is considered the witching hour, the perfect time for hunting ghosts. Almost right off the bat at the video start, John and the others have split up when a wooden board is seen falling on its own from behind a doorway. John goes to investigate, and much to his shock and slight bemusement, It turns out it was just James playing a joke on them. This appears to be in James's nature, as he does so again when he slams a metal door shut, scaring John so badly he accidentally stops recording. Jokes aside, Tim soon begins to feel lightheaded after the trio go to the second floor and therefore decides to head outside for some air. Meanwhile, James and John continue to investigate the second floor, finding the normal things you would expect in an abandoned building: graffiti, specks of dust, etc. When they descend the stairs back to the first floor, they are shocked to find Tim collapsed on the floor, out cold.
Down in the basement. I hope I got reception down there.
Tim? Dude, you okay? Tim, dude. Tim.
Bro, what are you doing?
You okay, man?
Thankfully, they were able to wake him, although he is clearly dazed and groggy. The reaction from John and James are of genuine concern and confusion, and Tim appears to be really out of it with a pale complexion. Deciding Tim's safety is more important, James and John help their fallen friend back outside and back to the car. Clearly shaken by the incident, John and James decide not to venture into the basement, and instead, footage of their previous visit is shown. It is unknown what exactly happened, and no other paranormal activity can be seen in the footage, so it is undetermined if Tim was the victim of some sort of attachment. He does show the common signs of paranormal attachment, which often manifest as feeling lightheaded and nauseated, and can even lead to passing out. What could also be possible is Tim came under the effects of harmful dust in the building. Considering the age and state of the orphanage, it is possible Tim became overwhelmed by particles such as asbestos, a once common insulation that can cause damage to the lungs if breathed in. The fact that John and James were unaffected does cast some doubt on this theory, although it is still completely possible. Regardless, finding your friend unconscious on the floor of such an eerie location is certain to scare anyone. Thankfully, Tim was okay and apparently started feeling a bit better after resting by the car. With that said, the three decided to call it a night and left the location. John clarified in the video description and comments Tim was okay and recovered, as well as thanking those who expressed concern for his condition. On February 21st, 2021, John uploaded a director's cut of the original video, acting as a sort of commentary. John discusses his personal experience that night. He stated he felt concerned about Tim when he said he wasn't feeling good, and expressed regret for not going with Tim to make sure he was alright. He also said he has received messages from people who had lived there during its operation, saying they actually had good experiences while residing there. They considered it a home with the staff taking good care of them. Comparing it to places such as Leckworth Village, it is a relief to hear good experiences about an orphanage, as they can be notorious for negativity, to put it mildly. When discussing the moment he and James found Tim, he said it looked as if he broke his leg. It is at this point John himself discusses a possible third explanation for Tim's condition. According to John, Tim had been up almost 30 hours at this point and had actually worked a full shift of work prior to joining the others. However, he also expresses Tim is sensitive to locations, including a time he collapsed at Skinwalker Ranch. This gives further support something had attached to him, but considering the positive remarks from former residents, it's hard to say what attached. It's good to know Tim turned out okay in the end, as these investigations can cause serious consequences. Could that flicker of light you see fast past be someone's soul? Published to YouTube by Tomato Superman to the Ghosts subreddit. This security footage from the Golden Cross Weatherspoon in Broomsgrove in the UK shows just what happens in old haunted places after dark. The security footage reveals a strange, iridescent pink light flash around the corner and down the hallway before vanishing. Tomato Superman says that he's a skeptic but admits he found this odd. He writes that the place has been closed for 3 weeks and that the alarms had gone off, which is why staff came in to check it out. This is what happens in the recording that seems to set off the alarms. He said the security system also started to break down immediately after. Many in the comments aren't sure what to think either, although some lean hard into the spirit world. And could this be something similar? A spirit making its presence known in this place? It certainly doesn't look like your everyday dust orb. The next time you gaze up into the serene night sky, you might experience a feeling of panic instead of peace. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by After Performance 2. The Redditor explains that these strange lights were seen in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina last year on July 19th. The lights were grouped in threes, and according to the Redditor, some disappeared before she could capture them on video. The video shows a trio of lights floating overhead in the sky, and a moment later, another trio closer to the horizon off in the distance. The sets of lights don't float in strict formation, but seem to each be wavering at their own pace. They then flicker and disappear. Redditor Professional Truck 3 suggests that these were paper lanterns lit and then launched from the beach, but the 70s kids negates that, saying if these were lanterns, they'd drift apart. Well, some say the wind is obviously taking the lanterns in the same direction. After Performance 2 theorizes that they're all going to the same destination. Another Redditor, Buster Blevins, chimes in proposing that this is not necessarily a unique occurrence. He wrote, "Last Friday, a bunch of people saw something very similar to this in northern Wisconsin. The lights would appear in groups of 3, and it was as if there was a pattern that looked like the light was traveling in a circle around something. Any other theories as to what these strange lights could be?" You know when you're nonchalantly taking video, panning across the room, and this happens? This short clip posted to YouTube by Baku DD is not meant to be a jump scare, but it'll have you jumping scared anyway. As the woman films her apartment with a blurry camera, she pans around to a hallway that appears to be filled with sunlight, perhaps by a window backlighting the area, and there stands a tall looming figure that apparently shouldn't be there at all, judging by the woman's frightened reaction. The woman shrieks, and the shot moves sideways as she jumps in fright. When she pans back to the hallway, the figure is gone. This is either a fantastic fake or the real deal. Whether you think it's legit or not, it's probably something you wouldn't want to witness in the flesh. A YouTuber named Panji Petualan is searching for frogs with his friends late at night along with anything else they can find. The team has their head down to look for prey, but at 21 minutes and 4 seconds, Panji looks up for the briefest of moments and catches this bipedal creature as it sprints away from the light. It happens so fast that they don't even appear to see it at first. It appears to be a pale white and instinctively flees from the light, which makes sense for a nocturnal creature to do. It does not make a sound as it moves, despite being the size of a human and a very close distance away. A YouTuber named Frosty Flakes is searching for elk in the woods of Imnaha, Oregon, when his elk whistle attracts a pack of hungry wolves. Soon they find themselves surrounded and have to step carefully. They are way outnumbered and the wolves sound very close by, ferocious and closing in fast.
Wolves are exactly on opposite sides of us.
Every time they stop to gain a sense of direction, they can hear the wolves combing through the area where they just were. And I think this is where the pack decides not to pursue any further and lets them off with a warning howl. They sound close enough to charge the entire time, yet hidden so well in their surroundings that you would never know where to even look until it was already too late. Did this YouTuber capture skinwalkers in a screaming match? While wandering through Gila National Forest, mysterious wailing echoed all around him.
Very.
As the cameraman stood waiting, he heard the screams again. They were so terrifying, they spun him around. And again. But where is it coming from? And to whom does this wailing belong? Skinwalkers? Or something else entirely? I think I'm going to stay far away from that forest. When you venture onto the grounds of a former battlefield, take note, it's likely haunted. The YouTuber explains that he and his family were vacationing in Washington, D.C. when they visited the Manassas battlefield. The battle resulted in a large number of passings. Needless to say, this is a place worth haunting, and apparently this YouTuber's got the goods. He writes, "We videotaped there, and later that day we were watching the tape and we noticed the woman, dressed in white, walking along the fence line. There were no reenactments going on that day, and we didn't see her there." They note that the ghost is walking away from the graves of Mrs. Henry, her daughter, and her son and into a field near the black fence to the left of the house. The Henry house stands on the plateau of the hill on which the battle took place. Judith Carter Henry was bedridden and couldn't leave the house at the time of the battle. A projectile burst through the bedroom wall and took her life. Could this lady in white be Judith? You decide. Published to YouTube by In Jamaica in August of 2017, this big almost catch occurred at the Hellshire Bridge. The camera approaches a large gathering of onlookers surrounding the bridge in question, where cars have pulled to the side of the road to watch the big event. Two young men have managed to nab the croc by the snout using a length of rope. The crowd cheers as the crocodile thrashes about and soon escapes his captors. They try again, throwing the rope into the murky water. After a few failed attempts to recapture it, they give up and the crowd disperses. Many in the comments below blame the lack of catch on the crowd, saying they're making too much noise and scaring the croc away. Perhaps they're right, but if you knew this monster was lurking below, could you suppress your fear? There is more to fear in the woods. Published to YouTube in October of 2007 by Dennis Daunt. This video purports to show paranormal activity in the forest outside of Dudley Town. In the forest, a man is heard dialing up a friend to let him know that he's seeing some creature in the forest again, and he's going to try and catch it on video. He runs upstairs from the sound of it to catch it from a better vantage point. That's when, faintly, at the forest's edge, you can see a shadow pass in front of the trees in a quick flick. Some in the comments think it's a horse, but according to many others, Dudley Town is a cursed place. YouTuber TopsX4 warns others, stay out of Dudley Town, it's a dangerous and evil place. When you get into the town, there is no sound, not even a bird, it's like you're in a vacuum. Bad things happen here. DGS 104 also claims that his friend's car was trashed by spirits there. Well, Dave Harley agrees that Dudley Town is absolutely no joke, adding that many are said to have passed away in the coal mines, while other residents simply went insane. With such accounts and this video, I'm convinced to never visit. Do you hear that? Published by Indra Saputra Official in April of 2022. Someone is singing in this abandoned building. As Indra flashes his flashlight in the room, speaking to the voice, the sing-song continues for a moment, but then all is quiet.
Sandra, aku bisa nggak? Ini aku, tuh. Sandra, aku nggak bisa bro. Aku nggak main di center. Nah, katanya lama.
But then, when Indra tries to open the door, he can't get out. His camera light goes out and then starts flashing. As he turns around in the empty room, it's no longer empty. The light goes off again, and Indra is singing in the dark by himself for a time. The ghost girl is gone. What frights does this place hold? A demon sing-along doesn't sound like a good idea. This dirt road has its own security guard. Published by Scary and Mysterious Stuff in February of 2021, a team faces off with a mysterious figure on a deserted road. As they drive in the middle of the night, wolves are howling all around. The atmosphere is unsettling. As they turn a corner and head down a hill, a figure in a black robe is captured up ahead in the headlights. Wearing a hood that blocks their face, the figure starts to slowly walk toward the vehicle, which backs up in response. The figure continues to approach the vehicle even after it's reversed far enough to not be a threat. While many in the comments are saying the figure was likely not a ghost, since it casts a shadow, others are calling the footage scary and dangerous regardless. If not a ghost, who is this person and what do they want? Got insomnia? This scary video won't help. Published by Little Genius in February of 2022, the following footage was captured while this poor soul was sleeping, or trying to. Slowly, the blankets are pulled down from the man's shoulders. He pulls them back up, but it happens again, and then a third time. But this doesn't seem to get the sleeping man's attention. A water bottle balanced on his headboard falls onto the bed. He replaces it and continues to sleep, but the bottle soon wobbles to the side and falls again. Next, a chair with a teddy bear slides forward on its own. Moments later, it scoots forward even more. It then tips backward, falling onto the floor and finally waking the man up. What entity is interfering with this guy's sleep? Whoever it is, it succeeded. This man will never sleep again. This police cam footage was taken during a massive wildfire in Sonoma County, California in 2017. Officers are doing what they can to evacuate the public and restore order, but as this brief dashcam video shows, they were up against total chaos at the time.
I just had to work for the fire department, and here it is back by actors. He said they're unaware of which way the fire is going. They have so many fires, they can't really keep track at this point, and they also cannot answer.
Listen closely and you'll even hear the dispatcher say that they can't tell which direction the fire is spreading and seems to be genuinely overwhelmed. I have to salute this officer and all of the other brave public officials who willingly charged into a massive blaze to try and help everyone. A YouTuber named Advil thinks he is alone until he hears voices off in the distance. He soon finds himself drawn to the stairs leading down into the basement for reasons he cannot explain. Something just feels out of place down there, but he isn't sure what. He calls out and gets an incredibly strange and eerie reply from the darkness below. Maybe if you are wearing headphones, you can tell me what is being said here. It almost sounds like they are whispering, "He's here."
Hello?
Moments later, Advil receives an undeniable confirmation that something is in the house with him. A dark figure somehow stands out against the pitch-black background as it crosses the doorway. It makes no attempt to go up the steps and reveal its true form. If this is real, then whatever is down there apparently wants to stay down there, and possibly one day take Advil with him. We've all been there. It's a stormy night. Every sound in the house is an evil entity vying for your soul. That must have been what this man was feeling when he saw this happen in his dining room on a stormy night. The clip shows a man enter his dining room, which appears completely normal. Every chair in place. He enters his laundry room, then casts the camera down the stairs. It appears that something must have happened to cause him to search his house. He says hello down the stairs. Is someone or something there? He decides to go into his basement to investigate. The wooden steps are incredibly rickety. As he's nearing the bottom, a terrifying racket is heard upstairs. He runs for his life, only to find his kitchen chairs precariously stacked up, balanced one on top of the other. The dining room light is swinging around. The shot is still, as the man crosses the room and stands frozen in fear at this ominous sight. The overhead light continues to swing, and nothing is there. There's something especially uneasy about the stacking of this man's furniture. Part of that uneasiness comes from the fact that no human could have done this particular building job in the short period of time that the man was away. Who do you think did it? Or what? Is that a ghost in the window? Posted to TikTok by Trina M. Ward in the video. Trina says she's at the Martin house and that nobody lives here, is supposedly haunted. According to Trina, a man went crazy in the home and took the lives of his whole family. Some say they've seen the children's ghosts in the home. Trina was driving by randomly when she saw this in the window. The figure on the second floor looks like a child. Some notice a larger figure standing behind the child. Several in the comments warn that the child ghost is not what it may seem. Shay Zombie writes, "Children spirits don't stay on this plane. It's a demon trying to draw someone in. Don't be drawn, or you might become the next person this house draws in." When a scary video isn't self-explanatory, it's time to break out some armchair detective work. But even if you're Sherlock or Enola Holmes, you'll have a tough time connecting the dots of this video. Published to YouTube in March of 2012, Ghosts Are Real 66 writes, "Been taking video of local cemeteries for a while and examining them from frame to frame. Found the image of what looks like a ghost of a young boy from around the early 1900s by the way he is dressed. The video was taken at Kinder Cemetery, established in 1902. While scanning some tombstones at a distance, a distinct flash is caught on camera. While zooming in, you can make out a figure, although you can't really distinguish its dress. YouTuber Mainly says that he's wearing suspenders and a white shirt, but that's up for interpretation. Some think it's a reflection in a car window, others are sure it's the paranormal, and I'm leaning towards the latter." When ghosts just won't leave you alone, what more can you do but investigate? Published to YouTube by Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. In December of 2017, this 4-part paranormal series has it all. In the first video, the homeowner explains that the ghosts in his home just won't leave him be. He welcomes the good ghosts to stay, but the activity has skyrocketed.
Not the one that's saying it. Hello? Is anybody in here?
He says they're constantly saying his name. In the first video, while running the spirit box, the spirit tells him, "It's me." When he asks who's in here, the spirit says, "Just you, Kent." The spirit also tells him, "It's my house, I need help. Rachel's in trouble." All throughout the clip, he hears other EVPs and disembodied voices, even without using the spirit box. In parts 2, 3, and 4, as the investigation continues, he and his wife regularly hear disembodied voices throughout the home. Often the voice cusses, tells Kent to get out of there, asks for help, or tells him to be careful. When he's in the room with what he calls the witch's window, the spirit is even more vocal. It says, "We're not done. They're all weak." Kent also sees faces in the porch window, which he believes are spirits. After listening to all this, it's not a stretch to think that something bad happened in this house. And could that be what is causing the paranormal events that are happening in this house? JP Videos is exploring a seemingly haunted abandoned house when he gets some really scary stuff caught on tape. The place has fallen into a state of disrepair, and it only gets creepier when they find rotten steps leading into the basement.
Alright, let's go down the creepy spiral staircase.
The mattresses look to be cleaner and newer than anything else down here.
Creepy mattresses down here. It's like a partially finished basement, but just random mattresses laying around.
And the blinds are pulled closed like somebody has been sleeping here recently. Hopefully there are no strangers down here because a surprise encounter would probably not be pleasant. The basement stretches across many different rooms. JP is getting all of the hidden rooms on camera when some really scary stuff is caught on tape.
These are my favorite type of explorers too, just abandoned houses, you know, seeing contents from the former owners and just trying to imagine what took place here.
A lone crib on display in the center of the room gives him a nauseous feeling.
What? This, okay. Little creepy.
Fastened around the top is a plank of wood with other pieces of scrap wood laying nearby. When tied over the top with a rope, this crib becomes more like a cage that is too small for even a toddler to stand in. Multiple mattresses in the corner create the impression that this building has been overtaken by numerous squatters. I seriously hope no one was left to fend for themselves in that crib. No food or water, hopelessly and cruelly trapped under these two boards. This dashcam video was supposedly taken near Hanoi, Vietnam, and was posted on Facebook where it spread to the local news. In it, the car soon pulls up to a figure dressed in all white standing in the middle of the road. The drivers are quite concerned that this individual is standing in the middle of a pitch black road, alone besides one street light above. They don't ask the person anything. Instead, they quickly drive away. While many online thought it was a ghost of some kind, news agencies have said that this was a woman who is not mentally well and was possibly attempting to take her own life. Let's hope she got the help she needed before it was too late. These ghost investigators have some paranormal evidence from a haunted house on video that I'm trying to decide is real or fake. They claim these lights are not coming from traffic, which I believe, but it looks awfully similar to the high-powered flashlights they were using earlier in the day. Does the beam look the same to you? Next, they claim to have picked up this sharp whisper, but I think it might be a camera strap sliding over the mic. Do you hear it? If so, what do you think? A Facebook user named Andrea Collins believes one of her security cameras caught a ghost late in the afternoon on March 22nd of this year. And after taking a look at the evidence for myself, I think she's right. Ordinarily, I would say that this is a bug crawling across the camera, except in this case it looks like a little ghost girl with a white dress and long black hair. It's also positioned perfectly in the middle of the screen, exactly where a human would stand, so my bet is that this is an apparition seeking help, or at least some attention. And if this is what Andrea sees in her yard, then chances are her house is haunted too. Well, this man was checking his home CCTV at night. He captured something he didn't expect. Published by Scary Desk in November of 2021, the scary video shows the man setting up his camera and checking that it's angled well in his yard. But as he's doing so, look behind him. A creepy face peeks out from behind a bush in the background. It remains in view even as a car passes by behind it.
It was really horrifying.
The face then slowly disappears back behind the bush. A closer look shows the creature's bizarre features. While it looked human from far away, it doesn't exactly look that way close up. Is this being wearing a mask? And why is it hiding? Whatever is going on here, it seems this man set up his security cameras just in time. A paranormal channel called Love to Investigate has one of the creepiest ghost videos ever. A sighting that looks real and must have been terrifying for them to have caught on camera.
I don't like looking at shower curtains, that just creeps me right out. The bathroom again, is it? That's pretty cool, that is.
They are exploring a haunted mental asylum. when the spirit of a former patient glares at them from the hallway. When they look up, it's leaving as she makes a comment about the smell.
That's pretty cool, that is. Smells like an hospital in this car, definitely.
The apparition has long black braids and wears a long dress that women had to wear at the mental asylum long ago. The paranormal investigator later comments that they had no idea they were being watched by the supernatural at the time. Had they known, they would have ran away in the opposite direction. For the love of all that is holy, look out behind you. Posted to TikTok by Haunting Facts, this TikToker is dancing in a parking garage and doesn't seem to realize that something is watching. And not only watching, it's coming closer. Watch closely as the TikToker performs her choreography. After moving to the right, a figure is seen creeping up behind her. He is so close that he could reach out and touch her. The figure looks like a man with his back facing the girl. Unaware, she jumps to the left, and the figure is again blocked from view. This man went unseen earlier in the clip. You don't see him approach, even though the girl starts dancing further back from the camera. Where did this guy come from? Did he just materialize out of thin air? And what does he want? Some TikTokers say he's obviously Batman, while others are having trouble seeing the figure at all. But Sydney's having no trouble. She writes, "Bro, I saw it and it actually gave me a little heart attack. Sounds like Sydney might need a break from the scary videos." A 4-circuit CCTV system in Japan shows a woman waiting to get an elevator, but what we're looking at is the woman in the upper right monitor who is about to do the impossible. Did you see it? If not, I'll show you again. This does appear to be at least somewhat edited, especially when you pause halfway through and get that green screen look, but maybe it's just a glitch with the video file, and I need to accept the possibility that it could actually be real. Myrtle Sorosa is a popular model and actress from the Philippines who witnessed something unexplainable while on tour. In eastern Samar, she and her crew are navigating unlit back roads when they spot this small phantom-like figure in the street. In Myrtle's words, the white blob caught by the dash cam does not match what they saw in person. She says what they saw looked more like a child who was around 10 years old with a pale face and a bluish-white shirt. They wanted to double back and save the helpless child, but their tour guide said that this road is famous for child ghost sightings, and that it was best to get out of there quickly. I guess this could all be just a publicity stunt, but since eastern Samar once had a bad typhoon that claimed the lives of many children, I think that she is probably telling the truth. In January of 2018, this emergency message was broadcasted to everyone in the entire state of Hawaii.
A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill.
What's more alarming is how everyone seems to ignore the emergency directions that are instructing them to pull over. Bethany and the vehicle in front of her continue to drive, even when told by the radio to stop. Although, to be completely fair, they could have been on a one-lane road with nowhere safe to pull over.
If you are driving, pull safely to the side of the road and seek shelter in a building or lay on the floor. We will announce when the threat has ended.
The broadcast puts the entire island into a panic, and I feel like this live stream video summarizes everyone's reaction perfectly. The first stage is a sort of disbelief and the need to confirm it's really happening.
Oh gosh, what happened? Did you guys get that? Did you not get that? There's an emergency ballistic missile threat.
The next stage is acceptance that this is real, which leads to scrambling for a plan, even in the face of total obliteration.
Oh my god! What do we do?
And the final stage is panicking at the realization that all hope is lost, that your life is about to truly end. The urge to run somewhere, anywhere, sets in even though it's clear nothing can be done.
Babe, what do we do?
As it turns out, this broadcast was a major mistake made by staff at a military command post. There was nothing this time, but based on these videos and countless others, I don't think we would really do as well as we would like to think in the face of an actual catastrophe. This creepy moment caught on a doorbell cam from Knoxville, Tennessee, shows a shadowy creature dart across Brian Hobbs' suburban yard and then mysteriously disappear. Bizarre, right? Okay, so maybe seeing this mysterious creature sighting one time can be explained away as a camera glitch, but when the moving shadows returns and materializes into a wild animal running the opposite way, you know this scary moment could be paranormal. This scary video goes to show that real ghost sightings caught on doorbell cam aren't limited to humans. You may think you're alone, but are you really? Posted to TikTok by Tayasha, this one is bound to give you the heebie-jeebies. On what looks to be a stormy night, the TikToker is walking around an abandoned building when she spots this in the window. The dark-haired figure appears ghoulish, staring out at the passerby. What do you think this mystery figure wants, and who is it waiting for? This has either gotta be the paranormal or a very elaborate hoax. There's simply no in-between. Mysterious footage of a strange event caught on CCTV leaves one man wondering if they live in a haunted house when a bookshelf purges itself of reading materials in the dark of night. Soon afterwards, the door opens and a man looks into the empty hallway like he's seen a ghost. Judging from his timid reaction, thrown objects are a classic sign of poltergeist activity. However, some people in the comments say this was done with strings. There's one book that falls in the opposite direction as the rest. Is this simple physics or another sign from the paranormal? A YouTuber named Alien6467 and a friend are heading down a long stretch of country road in Southwood, New York, when an abandoned White House on the side of the road catches their attention. Something feels odd about this house, so they decide to get out and start exploring. The first thing the two of them notice is a room with #vengeance scrawled across the wall in big green letters. Under this word are dozens of bags that inexplainably contain only a single coin. After a bit of searching, they find a loose floor panel nearby and start pulling out more Ziploc bags containing single coins. The strange feeling gets even stronger after this discovery and they decide to leave. When filming the house for one last time, they see that they are no longer alone, nor were they ever to begin with. A mysterious black silhouette watches them from above without sound, but I guess it could just be a prank. I mean, they were just inside of that room. So maybe Alien6467 went up there again and pretended to be a ghost for the final shot. Then again, it could even have been somebody who was squatting in the house. The coins might have been a calling card, each one representing a previous victim. When Ibtisam and Kevin put a GoPro on their dog, they were never expecting to have so many scary moments caught on tape that they would later question if their house was really haunted. Here's their paranormal evidence. Okay, so at 1 minute and 35 seconds, the dog clearly hears some noises that we can't. Dogs have really good hearing though, so that's not really paranormal proof. The dog goes into the next room and appears to see something, though it's probably just a balloon in the corner that it doesn't recognize. Again weird, but not necessarily paranormal. However, as soon as it turns around and lets its guard down, a loud, scary noise comes from where it was just looking. Nothing else happens for a while, and the dog gets some sleep. Upon waking up, the dog takes an interest in the living room again, this time investigating under the table, instead of in the corner, almost like it's tracking movement. It goes to look out the door. The window appears to be shut when all of a sudden, a creepy scream fills the house, and shortly after, it looks like the dog sees phantom movements across the living room, same as before. The dog is obviously stressed out and can't seem to stay in one place for long, and maybe it's just me, but at 16 minutes and 23 seconds, I definitely see an eerie figure caught on GoPro sitting with her back turned. The owners return home none the wiser, and if you look closely, it looks like the dog runs past them both, simply wanting to bolt out of the door and get away from the possibly haunted home. A YouTuber named DK goes ghost hunting at 3 a.m. using a mirror in his home that's apparently haunted. He sets up a camera and waits until 3 a.m. Sure enough, the video glitches out and shows what appears to be someone's hand. Also, look in the mirror itself and you'll see a face looking to the left with its eyes closed. Let me know if you see it, and if so, what you make of this haunted mirror. There's a graveyard in the community of poetry that is famous for a very strange phenomenon, flashlight controlling ghosts. Apparently, spirits will sometimes take control of flashlights in this area, apparently using them to communicate with the living and answer basic questions.
Did you come through the vortex?
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
What's really weird to me is how the light slowly fades away instead of turning straight off like normal.
So they have a destination when they...
And this isn't the only video I've found where this happens.
Are you gonna turn it off? I see it getting very dim. Are you playing with the flashlight now? Okay.
Can someone explain how this is happening? If it's not being caused by the paranormal, you can't see the bottom of the flashlight in the second video, so maybe their hand is still on it, but nobody is touching the flashlight in the first video, so that one looks especially real. And if you've ever tried this at Dry Creek Graveyard, then we would definitely like to read what happened to you next. So please let us know in the comments section. You probably don't see anything off in the distance, but Sabura Rout has lived in India for many years and is familiar with this train route. He knows where to look and quickly spots something up ahead. Lurking many yards away is a shadowy figure who is up to no good. I will give you one more chance to spot them and save your own life. If you fail, then consider yourself the next easy target. The person waits for the train to pass and launches a rock in hopes of making this YouTuber drop his phone, which he plans to retrieve and probably sell for money. Fortunately, he is ready and dodges it easily. I can only imagine how many people have not been as prepared as him and had their phone fall straight off the train. Schwinn Protocol wants to remodel his dreary basement, which only has a dirt floor. After digging many layers down, he finds this rusty old entranceway that presumably extends even deeper. He doesn't really have a good feeling about this at all, but he needs to know everything about the basement before he can get the job done, so he has to see for himself what's on the other side. He lifts the heavy cement plug, and white orbs soon follow, though I guess they could also be dust particles. Either way, he is puzzled to find a wide cavern filled with darkness. As his light traces along the rough edges of the floor, he slowly begins to piece together some unnerving observations out loud.
That's probably about a 13 or 15 foot drop. So definitely a bigger person wouldn't be able to fit down there. Wouldn't even be able to fit a ladder down there though,
So basically, this is a deep hole with an entrance that's too small for an adult, but just the right size to squeeze through a child. I'm not sure what this was really used for, but I do agree that it's weird to have a random hole in your basement that's easy to fall into and tough, if not impossible, to get out. To be fair, the YouTuber later wrote in the description that he thinks it was part of a drainage system that's no longer in use. Maybe he's right, or maybe he's just trying to explain something that he wishes he never saw. Someone could have spent their entire childhood down there for all we know. Cuyahoga official are being stalked by a mysterious being in the darkness. They first capture this figure as they walk toward the haunted place. Still, they do not leave. They continue exploring.
कौन है?
आ गया ये कहते हैं नहीं वो देखो वो दीवार पे रिकॉर्ड हुआ ओहो हुआ यार वो दीवार पे था यार कोई वो
They then hear some creepy noises around them.
ओ कितनी गंदगी है यार यहाँ पे भाई एक तो आवाजें आ रही यार ये देखो ये
And then they see it.
अल्लाह अकबर ये थी यार
It is like the figure is taunting them.
अल्लाह अल्लाह
And it all comes to a head.
ओ कौन ये क्या कौन हो आप चुबाल से हमें
What does it want from them?
Alive.
Here we'll go. ओ पीछे वो दीवार पे
It seems to appear and disappear repeatedly,
वो देख यार
only to appear again in the end. What is this figure? And what does this all mean? Only the devil knows, which is why this is one scary video they tried to hide from us. As the legend goes, the Saratoga light appears on Haunted Bragg Road, a dirt road in southeast Texas. Many witnesses have observed the ghost light, with some believing it has paranormal origins due to a legendary railway incident in which a railroad worker lost his head. He is now believed to search for it in the night, carrying his lantern. Published by The Vortex in October of 2018, this scary video sees the man's search for the mysterious Saratoga light. During their 8-mile drive along the creepy ghost road, the paranormal investigators eventually start to see a beam of light. They stop along the dirt road and get out to capture the light, which they think might be a car. And it does turn out to be a vehicle, as they discover when they drive ahead. But at the same time, they said they caught a mysterious light behind them which disappeared, a bright glowing red one. The eerie light doesn't seem to be far off. Many in the comments claim to have seen the light firsthand along this road. YouTuber 5th Gen Texan Texas Forever writes that he saw it years ago while walking along the road in the dark. He explains, "It appeared suddenly right in front of us, zipped away and came back really quickly, then disappeared again right in our faces. While this glowing red doesn't appear to zip away, the many confirmed sightings of the Saratoga light certainly make me consider believing." Think you're seeing things when driving in the darkness of night? Your imagination hasn't run wild. You're not just tired. Something is in the middle of the road. Published by Yogesh Baba in January of 2017, this driver was making his bumpy way down a dirt road at night, rounding corner after corner, when he came upon a sinister figure. The drive itself is spooky, with trees all around and what looks like a roadside tombstone at one point in the journey. As the driver continues, you can see a small pale figure in the middle of the road from a distance. The driver approaches, slowing down more and more. That's when the hooded figure rises, moving out of the way without showing its face. While most in the comments doubt that this is a ghost, they're still wondering why a man is squatting at night in the middle of the road. None of this is normal. A YouTuber named Isaac Telford gathers a group of friends with one goal in mind.
We're exploring an abandoned house.
Haunted or not, they are certain they will be able to go exploring the house without a problem. As they laugh and joke their way from room to room, they start to get the feeling that this house might not be so abandoned after all.
Dude, there's a bed. Is it made? Yo, there's a bed. There's like pillows and everything. Yeah, hold on, guys.
Abandoned houses don't tend to have perfectly made beds, clothing items are randomly discarded, and create an impression that someone has been staying here for some time.
We're trying. Hey, let's go downstairs.
Yeah, let's go.
We're just trying to talk to a ghost, alright? This is the basement, guys. We're gonna go down in it. Alright, let's go, boys.
It looks like mostly random clutter, but seriously, somebody please tell me what's up with the huge pile of shoes. There are shoes of all different sizes, men's and women's, an odd collection to have. It's like they're being kept as trophies. Soon they leave the house and want to go exploring an abandoned nearby prison instead. They pull up to the haunted place and are about to go inside when something bizarre happens.
Okay, hold on. We have a car. Dude, there's never been a car on this road.
Hey, maybe we're just getting freaking doggy. Oh, are they flashing at it?
Isaac makes a turn and quickly shuts off his headlights.
Oh my. Dude, I think they saw us. You want to turn? Okay, we're gonna take off.
They wait in the darkness and eventually the car passes. It's late at night by now, and Isaac is nervous and tired and makes a wrong turn into a construction yard. That's when they meet up with the mysterious car again. He turns off the camera because getting out of there is more important than getting content. They manage to escape this time, but I have little doubt this was probably the same person living in the old house they explored earlier. They seem to have made an enemy out of this stranger by exploring his house. Hopefully he isn't planning to one day go exploring their houses in return. This huge wall of security monitors shows that everything in this building is silent, and still except for a single sign going haywire. I've seen signs twisting around from the air conditioning before, but this looks a little different. The back and forth swaying seems very deliberate, almost as if an invisible force is hanging off of it. I don't have much more information about this video, aside from it taking place somewhere in Singapore. Let me know what you think of it. This doll is reputed to make you crazy, and Dima is spending 3 days alone with it. Let's see what happens. First, Dima introduces viewers to the doll.
Время. Как мне сказали, чтобы освободить ее, надо, соответственно, разбить стекло.
It doesn't take long for things to unravel. At around 3 a.m. this happens. That sounded like a footstep. For some reason, Dima decides to visit the doll, and he soon regrets it.
Stop. Stop, нет.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Так, мать, давай-ка ты... Она прям на меня смотрит, я весь в мурашках.
Those eyes look real. Are they? Soon Dima loses his pulse.
Что происходит? Что происходит, блядь? Что происходит? Ой, что случилось? Почему у меня пульс 0?
Okay, that was just an accident, but is this?
Что это такое? Что это такое? Что это такое? Что это такое?
What are these unexplained noises? And this one.
Что за звук?
As the doll is taken over Dima's bed, its presence moves things in his room. Later, he discovers the doll's little shoe on the floor.
Ребята, это же не вышло.
How did it end up there? Has she been wandering around while he sleeps? One of the security cameras then moves on its own. Was it just positioned poorly, or is this the possessed doll's work as well? I think it probably is the maleficent spirit at play. This doll is 100% possessed, and in my opinion, its demon is now on the loose in Dima's house. He shouldn't have ever let her in. The ghost in this old house is leaving nothing to the imagination. YouTuber Dennis from Dark Life captures the ghostly mist out of the corner of his eye. Watch the top left closely. Using a spirit box, Dennis receives some creepy messages from a spirit here named Paul. Later, Dennis feels Paul's presence all around him.
Павел, ты еще здесь? Вот это жесть.
What was that? It sounded to me like terminal respiratory secretions. If it is, Dennis had better hope that it doesn't catch up to him. What happens when a djinn is out to get you? YouTuber Hassan Barbar knows a thing or two about that. The djinn is on his tail in this video. He first hears it banging around in the next room.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق بسم الله.
Where is it hiding? It seems so close and yet it's nowhere in sight. Still, it's right behind him at every turn.
طب وينك؟
Soon the jinn's energy grows unstable.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And it's nearer than he thinks. Watch the door to his left.
طب في حد؟ طب إذا أنت وين اظهر لي؟ يعني أعطيني أي إشارة.
One of Hassan's hands is holding his camera, the other is at his side, so it's without question that the door was nudged by the jinn. Back at the rocking chair, the jinn is heard moaning again.
كيف عرف إنه أنا بدي ألمس الدب؟ كيف عرف إنه أنا بدي ألمسه؟ طب وينك وينك وينك؟
What is he saying? What does he want? I think this game of hide and seek is not a game at all. The jinn is after Hassan's soul. Things went wrong for the Ouija brothers even before they hit record in the butcher's house. They hear voices outside approaching the abandoned home.
That's it, that way.
After the voices recede, they continue on through the house, but again they hear voices, this time screaming.
What are doing?
It sounds to me like she was screaming for help, and then...
You're just gonna have to go out of it.
After a while, things settle down, but they can still hear people there. At first, I wasn't sure if someone was in trouble or if these were kids trying to play a joke on them, but later on in the video, they confront the kids. Although they had to abandon the investigation, at least this didn't turn out as terrifying as it seems. While exploring a haunted location in Orlando, Redditor Callie1939 captured this on SLS video. Watch closely. Later, as they walked past that same area, many in the comments think the Connect is simply picking up 2 gravestones, which is why it jumped to the next 2 gravestones, making it look like the figure was walking away from them. I tend to agree, but it is curious that the EM detector went off in the same location. What do you think? Redditor ZZZ747 writes, "It happened again." As the Redditor explains it, they posted a video months ago noting that a neighbor's CCTV camera captured something strange, and in this post, we're seeing it for a second time. What do you think this white mist could be? Many in the comments think it's fog rolling through. Others suggest that the neighbor could be vaping. Still, others think it looks like the outline of a person or a ghost. What do you think it is? I'm not 100% sold that it's supernatural, but that doesn't mean it could be. Though judging by the Redditor's title, this isn't the first time this has happened. If this is captured again, maybe we'll be able to get more concrete answers. While driving in Siberia, this dashcam captured a mythical creature on a snowy road. Redditor M Unexplained shares it in this scary clip. Do you see it? It looks like an enormous biped figure. Let's see it again. Do you think this is a Yeti? Whatever it is, it's leaving experts baffled. Max from YouTube channel Paranormal Point is investigating the so-called Swamp of the Dead in this scary video. It leads him into dark places. As he continues to delve deeper into the swamp, he gets readings on his device, but that's not all. The device continues to be triggered, particularly by this large tree. Then he appears to see something in the darkness. It's too dark to make out with the human eye, but Max retreats. When he breaks out the spirit box to interview the spirit has questions of her own.
Чтобы помочь тебе покинуть наш мир.
She tells him something ominous. Who is he and who are they? And where will they take him? If I were Max, I wouldn't follow. YouTube team Greg and Heather's Explorations returns to the Townsend Cemetery, where they once held hands with a spirit. Will he hold their hand again? They begin with an EVP session.
You sneak peek of her EVP session.
Hi, Patty. Oh my God. You remember me from last time?
As they're examining the grave of a Confederate soldier, they hear a distant sound.
He was like a Confederate soldier. Something. He was a high up in the ranks.
Look, what is that noise? You hear that?
Oh, yeah.
They then discover what that sound is.
What's that? The water's on.
Wait. Whoa. That was not just some...
No. Oh my...
You've been saying that you felt like somebody was over here messing with you.
Is someone pranking them? And is the prankster living or a spirit? When they turn their ghost tube app on, they see figures all over the place.
Hello? Oh, wow, look, right there.
Right in front of you.
Wow. Hi. We see you. Was that you that just set this meter off?
And later, they try to convince the spirit to hold hands again, this time with Patty.
Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Can you do that again? Yep, he's right next to you, to the left of you, yeah. Can you reach out and touch her hand? Like you...
But the spirit is reluctant. Heather believes the spirit is a child since it's down low. I tend to agree. That might also suggest its hesitancy to reach out, and it might explain the trickery with the faucet being turned on. This child ghost is playing games. Get thee to a nunnery. That's what this ghost of a nun did, and it didn't turn out well for her. Dima from YouTube channel A Sip of Fear encounters the nun's ghost in this scary video. First, he sees an unexplained shadow. Then he hears an unexplained noise.
Кто здесь?
He senses something in this abandoned church. Still not seeing anything, a Steadicam captures a quiet noise at night. Later, footsteps are heard. While we don't get a glimpse of the notorious nun, I can feel her presence in this sacred place, and it sure doesn't feel holy. Redditor editor 1289 is wondering if film footage can cause a haunting. Let's watch it and judge for ourselves. It looks like the figure of a little girl crossing from one room to another. Here's a bit more context from the Redditor. Well, some say the answer is yes, others think that this clip in question is doctored. They say it looks like a girl who's been blurred out in post-editing. The Redditor claims that the man whose house this is lives alone, and other footage also shows the little girl, as well as furniture moving and strange voices and laughter. Do you take his word for it? In my opinion, the figure in this video does look like a solid one that's been blurred out, but as for the original question, I do believe you can become haunted by watching genuine haunted footage, so my viewers had better be prepared. While exploring the house of 3 child ghosts in Brazil, YouTuber Casa Sobrenatural captured footage of 3 figures in the window.
Eu fiz uma análise, teve a aparição de 3 crianças na janela ali, foi bem interessante. Lá no...
Here they are, close up. Can you make them out? This seems pretty clear evidence to me. The 3 ghost children are standing visible in the window panes. I wonder if these children are waiting for someone to hold their hands in order to cross over to the other side. Security footage caught a lone shopping cart roaming the store on its own after hours. YouTube channel Behind a Side shares this paranormal phenomena. At first, I thought it was simply on a roll, but then it took that sharp right. Nope, that's definitely a mystery shopper. And to me, the greatest mystery is what's in that ghost's cart. A water demon is lurking near a river, and we don't know what its intentions are. YouTuber Ghost23 shares this mysterious video. The figure looks oddly sinister, standing only in shadow. It appears to me to be the size and shape of a child, which makes it all the more creepy. After a moment, it moves away and out of sight. Another sighting in the area is captured from the foot of the falls. Watch for the pale figure rising out of the foliage. Here it is again. I'm not sure where this video was captured or what these figures might be, but they give off an inhuman vibe to me. What do you think is going on here? Duendes invade homes and carry out mischief to scare those within. TikToker MacGyver Box shares this video of one of these very spirit creatures caught on camera. Is that really a duende? It honestly looks like a full-size human to me, only in miniature. Is this just a trick of the eyes based on perspective? I think it might be, but it could also be a duende searching for a home to torment.
Vea, muchachos, vea, los que no creen en los duendes, vea. Vean un duende, vea. Un duende, me acabo de aparecer acá en la Gran Colombiana. Ay, fue
A place where children were used as objects of experimentation by a madman? How could this asylum not be haunted? YouTube team The Paranormal Patch visit the Desjardins Children's Asylum, one of the worst in medical history. As they begin their investigation, they catch a disembodied voice on camera. They continue their search of the place, and around 3 a.m., the witching hour, they see a dark shadow.
Better stop me now, it's creepy.
Deciding there's nothing there, they continue on, and while on an empty floor, Kaylee starts feeling scratches on her neck.
Let's look at it, because sometimes it'll get redder and redder. Where's it at? Point down. Is it red? That's where I felt it.
There is a deep scratch on her neck, but as the team is worried about the spirits coming to haunt them, it's the living they should be worried about.
som det går så. Vad är det? Underfall. Lisa.
Well, Kaylee keeps insisting the noises are a bat. I'm pretty sure people are squatting in this place. Or maybe it's the madman, Dr. Desjarnette, coming for them. Either way, that genuinely freaked me out. Their haunted home had been quiet for weeks. But then the YouTube team G&D Studios took out the Halloween-themed houses called Spooky Town. Once they'd been unpacked, the poltergeist activity in their home ramped up. That literally jumped out of her hand, and it does it again. Did it slip, or is something fishy going on here? After that, she gives up. In another clip, the poltergeist becomes even more aggressive. A few minutes later, this happens. And then, even stranger, what's going on here? It looks 100% paranormal to me. And the first step to calming it is to pack up that Halloween spooky town and light it on fire. This one's a head scratcher. Redditor FAKHAMNK shares this mysterious video that has skeptics questioning everything. Just watch. For context, the Redditor is a skeptic and just moved into this home. This same thing happened twice, about 20 minutes apart around 2 a.m. Watch again. The more you watch it, the harder it is to figure out, unless you're these Redditors in the comments, who apparently know exactly what's happening. Others think it's vape, and still others think it's fake. But the Redditor says they've also been hearing weird noises and seeing things out of the corner of their eye. So who do you trust? Reddit commenters or the Redditor who posted this footage? In my opinion, to come to a full conclusion, we're gonna need more footage. When you're a paranormal investigator, sometimes entities attach themselves to you, so watch your back. The YouTube team Spirit Stalkers were followed home by a demon. While in this haunted prison, they start hearing things.
That's you, do it right now, loud!
Bro, what? Oh my.
Are you serious?
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. What the
A little later, they hear something even louder.
What the is that?
Was that a firework or?
That was way too loud.
That was right above me, dude.
They ask the spirit if it knows one of the team members.
Yeah, do you know Jake already?
If you do, can you make a noise or make an equipment go off?
Oh my, bro!
Wow.
Oh my,
Why is it me?
Later, while using the Connect app, they receive a message from the unseen.
Help me. Help me! Oh my... Who's asking for help? What? This is insane right now. Are you the cop?
He tries to communicate with the spirits, and then the REM pod is triggered.
Oh my... I literally just saw something in front of me and then the REM pod goes off. Oh my... David, is that you? And then it stops.
But in the end, they feel that whatever is here has attached itself to Jake.
And it involved you. It involved Jacob Bruce from Bruce Nation. Seriously though, I almost made us leave. It was so terrifying and so disturbing. I almost pulled us out of the investigation. It would have been a first. Dude, something here does not like you.
Do spirits dislike specific people? I'm sure they do. There's probably something in Jake's own spirit that is too pure for them. How close can you get to a witch without her possessing you? YouTuber Chamos shares this video of a night he'll never forget. As they approach this remote home at night, they see something.
Onde? Bota a luz na casa, pô, à direita. Aqui. Na casa, homem. Ó, meu Deus, ela, Chamos. O quê? É, cara. É ela, velho. Deixa eu ver. Ô, velho, tem uma sombra lá, velho. Espera aí, tá aqui a câmera, daqui.
For some reason, Chamos and his partner get out of the vehicle and approach the creature, before they quickly realize they don't want to get any closer.
Ela tá brilhando, é ela, cara. Oi? Pelo amor de Deus, velho. Chamos. Sai daí. Ó, Chamos. Chamos, não vai, Chamos. Ei.
But they realize they don't want to get any closer, and after zooming in, you can see why. I don't know if that's a witch, but I wouldn't want to get close enough to find out. On the way out of the forest, they spot the creature again.
Olha ali, ó. Olha ali.
What is this thing? Witch or not, nothing human has this eye shine, so I am sure it's something to fear. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Altruistic Shoe 2593. He titled this video, Strange Object Above the Sky. Let's watch.
Oh dear. I just saw something on top right there. What's that?
I can certainly see what he's talking about, but the question remains, what is this thing? Let me know what you think it is in the comments. Next time you're in nature, take a closer look at your camera roll. You might just catch a forest spirit. Redditor I Like Toby Maguire says that he thinks bro wants to say hi in this pic captured at the forest's edge in North Carolina. Do you see it? Look closer. Many in the comments think the spooky face is either photoshopped or is pareidolia. While I could definitely see this being edited, I also think it's possible that it's a bubble floating past, or it could just be the newest, creepiest, scary movie villain. If this photo is real, I'd be staying far away from that forest. This haunted house isn't anything less than terrifying. The Ouija brothers head inside to discover what lurks within. As they first enter, they hear a door bang.
So let's go and have a look. Did you hear that?
I did hear like a boom.
Like a bang of a door or something.
They continue on and stop short again when they hear voices.
I think we should go in the dark. Literally, I heard voices.
In another hallway, they hear a woman's voice.
Say. Yeah, that's like a woman's voice.
With the spirit box on, some confused expressions resound.
Am I dead?
Jesus.
Your phone
Anna
is the one.
Abused.
And while they're communicating with the spirit, they hear an unexplained thud.
What's that? It's like a...
Then later, this low murmur is heard.
Jace. What? Jace. What?
To me, that was the creepiest bit of evidence in this whole investigation. I'm convinced, with that murmur and the messages through the spirit box, that something horrible transpired in this place. Uh-oh, the hand is reaching out from the other side. YouTube channel It's Jammer shares this creepy video that'll give you nightmares. The clip's original source is Instagram account Spikers.
¿Les di un cuarto? Sí, hágale. ¡Uy, marica, venga! ¿Qué hicieron rápido? No. Marica, perro, lo grabé, venga.
That was a hand, a child's hand. Look more closely, and yet there's no one there.
No. Marica, perro, lo grabé, venga.
This is just one of the many terrifying things that have occurred in the Instagrammer's house. Personally, I think his footage is some of the creepiest of its kind. While doing a spirit box session inside this century-old house, a ghost shuts the door on this conversation. YouTuber The One and Only League shares this creepy footage. The ghoul changes its mind, deciding to let us in after all. They continue the session, and it happens again.
Yo, it's doing it right now! Yo, it just moved, what the heck?
Unfortunately, the camera is turned too far to the left for viewers to see it fully closing the second time, but we do see the beginnings of the close. I have to say, this compelling paranormal evidence would inspire me to dig deeper into the history of this haunted home. I'm sure there's something to this activity. YouTube team Ghost Theory investigates the centuries-old mansion and care home Uphill Grange in the UK. As they ask the spirits to show their presence, they almost instantly get a response.
That was pretty instant, if that was... a few knocks, yeah? Yeah, it was like glass.
And the knocks continue.
Did you hear the knock? Yeah. There was a knock.
Down a dark hallway, they hear another unexplained noise. It sounds like someone is there. On the stairs, they hear more thuds and bumps. While there was no obvious paranormal activity in this haunted mansion, I do feel something is here. The phantoms are creeping around the place, like they're in the walls. Those who walk the hallowed grounds of historical battlefields never leave empty-handed. YouTube team Memphis Seekers Paranormal explores the grounds where the Civil War Battle of Shiloh occurred, and they meet with a soldier. First, they hear something. That was a strange noise, but it may have been an animal. Later, they placed the camera on the ground, and it captures some footsteps that they say weren't theirs. The audio also captures the guys' voices as they spot a figure.
Got me dead up. Right on the other side of the right.
Was it whatever they saw in the woods?
And there's something in the woods that is making a lot of racket.
Although the guys saw something that we, as viewers, weren't privy to, the noises alone were creepy enough for me to have called off this investigation before it even began. After the residents of this manor kept experiencing paranormal activity, YouTube team Exploring with Fighters was invited here to investigate. Dan initiates the investigation by informing the spirits about the paranormal devices being used. He invites them to communicate with the team, and they do.
There's also something behind that door in the bathroom. If you go near it, it will go off and let us know that you're here. Thank you.
They hear another device go off in a separate room.
Oh, REM pod's going off. No one's in there as well.
This spirit seems to have stage fright. Still, he triggers the REM pod again.
I'm just gonna go and grab my other camera.
Yeah.
Oh. REM pod's going off.
Wow, wicked.
What's that? Oh, sure.
This time it goes off for an extended period of time, and then it seems the spirit moves into the bathroom.
What the What is that? Oh, that was the thingy, movement sensor in the bathroom. Whoa!
What's happened to 360?
Hold on a second. Look, it's just died.
But the triggered devices aren't the only evidence the team leaves with. They also take these mysterious Polaroids. A second Polaroid captures more spirit figures in the window panes. What do you think of these captures? Well, I can see what the team sees. I think that could just be our collective minds playing tricks on us. But considering all the activity triggered on the paranormal devices in this old manor house, I also tend to believe that something is here. Whether it's the Mad Monk or not is anyone's guess. The line between reality and nightmare blurs here. Watch closely if you dare. What's interesting about this image is the scary figure it showcases. I'll be seeing this in my nightmares tonight. This image is currently trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. I came across it on a popular YouTube channel that creates content in this language, and I wanted to share it with you. It's a great example of how unique elements of horror can be found all around the world, each with its own twist. So, what do you think it is? And more importantly, do you think it's real or just a clever effect? Let me know down in the comments.